Sports Radio 560 WQAM Miami Fort Lauderdale presents The Neil Rogers Show. To talk to Neil, call 567-0560 toll free for Dade and Broward or pound 560 on your cell phone. The opinions of Neil, his guests, callers, or anyone else on the show do not necessarily reflect those of WQAM, Beasley Reed Acquisitions, or the Beasley Broadcast Group. Now, Neil Rogers on Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Oh, Alonzo, you're so big.
Hello, this be Esther Rowe. I played Florida on the hit show Good Times, and since my residuals ran out over 20 years ago, I've been helping other brothers and sisters find their way with the Psychic Negro Network. We welcome your calls, because nobody has a better understanding of black oppression. That's why you don't even need a credit card. It's just like renting your TV. We'll gladly bill it right to your phone. Negro Psychics are standing by right now at 1-900-GIVE-ME-YOUR-MONEY to take your call for the low price of only $7.99 a minute. Why, they can tell you if that van of yours is leaving, or if it already left, and if the ribs are going to be stringy or tender. So let the Psychic Negro Network guide you down the primrose path of bogus prophecy. Won't you call my friends?
So what did Linda Robertson say about all that heat you got this morning?
Come on, baby. Come play with these titties.
It's 10:02 at 560 WQAM. Happy Wednesday to you. Man, I'm telling you, this Tony Martin thing, and we'll have the verdict immediately, if not sooner. How do you like that?
Oh!
That's right. We got our crack staff. We got 50,000 guys down there at the courthouse waiting for the jury to come in because for whatever reason, I don't know what it is. All these other gangsters, I'm not talking about people just accused of things, but people that have been convicted of things, never seem to bother anybody in this town, no matter how many scumbags Jimmy Johnson signed up. But the Tony Martin thing, who hasn't been convicted yet of anything. And as far as Linda Robertson's concerned, I guess it's something to kill some good time, but why would anybody waste their time with her? She's a dumb bitch. Marino degrades himself. Linda, did you ever hear of something called a character witness?
No.
That's what I said yesterday. It's very simple. It's amazing how I can take something and simplify it down to a couple of words, and all these people, like there's something complicated about this. It happens all the time. All kinds of trials. People are on trial for whatever, and the prosecution calls in one group of people to say, oh, they stole a freight train, and the defense calls in character witnesses to say, oh, you're wrong, they never stole a freight train. Maybe a caboose, but not the whole train. And that's the way it works. Character witness. You got it, Linda?
No.
You dumb bitch? Go back and bake cookies, okay? I don't want to sound like a sexist pig, but this business of women covering professional sports or any other kind of sports, it's a joke. All these idiots, they're big on that on Nesson, New England Sports Network in Boston. They even got a female PA announcer up there. Sounds like crap, okay? Stick to whatever you do best, which is definitely not covering sports because you don't know what you're writing about. Marino degrades himself by supporting Martin. Again, the assumption being that even though we don't have a verdict yet, Tony must be guilty of all these things that he's been charged with. And if Danny Boy goes there and said, hey, he never stole a freight train, that makes him into a bad guy. And if it turns out that Martin's guilty, that makes Dan Marino a bad guy. You're a dumb bitch, okay, Linda? That's the way to sum it up for this town. It's about all the verbiage. I just heard the last 15 minutes of the worst team. And from the way it sounds, I guess they've been on that all morning long. I don't get it. What's the point of dignifying a dumb bitch like Linda Robertson who has got no business, but then again, does Barry Jackass have business writing a sports column?
No.
A broadcasting column?
No.
A column on anything?
No.
So what are you so surprised about? It's a crap newspaper. So there's your column, Linda, okay, in little tiny pieces, and I wouldn't waste any more time with it, dumb bitch. God. And they're all incensed and bent out of shape. Just consider the source. Consider the source. And believe me, they didn't sell one extra newspaper today because Linda Robertson wrote that column. Nobody goes out and buys a newspaper. See, I hate to break the news to you, but if you're going to put newspapers out on the newsstands or in those vending machines and people are going to go and buy them, it's because you splash something on the front page and make it a sensational song and a dance, not on the front page of the sports section with her puss on it. You know what I'm saying, Linda?
Come on, baby. Come play with these titties.
Yeah. So there you go. Shove it where the moon don't shine. And stick to what you know best. Like I said, maybe baking brownies, maybe fudge. Like what's her name? Fudge Brown there with the Dolphins? What kind of a name is that anyway? I've always wondered that. I know Harvey Green. He's not a very good guy, but that's a name. You know, it's like a normal name. But that whole thing about Fudge Brown.
Were you fudge packing?
Makes you wonder, doesn't it? So anyway, in Newsweek magazine, and I don't want to spend more than 2 or 3 hours on this, since this is a topic a lot more people ought to be talking about than whether Linda Robertson ought to be writing some crap in the Miami Herald. Here's the big story about George W., okay, the man to beat. And I only read one paragraph here, not even a whole paragraph. And then you make your own decisions as to whether this man is a hypocrite or not. And as to whether somebody's got a right to ask him any of these questions. In 1997, George W. Bush signed a measure authorizing judges to give jail time to people convicted of possessing or selling less than 1 gram, 1/28 of an ounce of cocaine. Texas sentencing guidelines had previously prescribed mandatory probation for such small quantities. So in other words, he made it stiffer and the penalty too. So who knows how many people are going to the slammer for possessing a teeny tiny amount of cocaine in the state of Texas. So I think it does make it relevant as to whether he was ever a felon and broke the law. Maybe that has nothing to do with your perception of whether he's qualified to be president or not, but as to whether he's a hypocrite. Just mentioned that in passing. Didn't make it up. It's right there in Newsweek magazine. If it's Newsweek, it must be right, right? Here's a letter to the editor. Is this the Sun? Yeah, this is the Scum Sentinel. And it's hysterical. It's not a good letter. It's not even a bad letter. It's just hysterical. From a guy who must be 100 years old, William J. David in Wilton Manors, who says, "Media messing up." That's the headline they put on the letter. He says, "Good old Ted Williams, 80 years old, God bless him."
Boy!
Anyone who saw him come out and be greeted by players like Cal Ripken, Mark McGuire, Ken Griffey Jr., to name a few, there was your real news story. The expressions on the faces of so many of the great young players to see Ted Williams and try to shake his hand, the smile on old Ted's face as he greeted these players, that was the real story of the All-Star game. Young people need role models, and we need the media to bring them up first. Now here comes the good part. You media people should also get up to speed with the fact that most of your average readers are fed up. Fed up, you hear? With you making celebs out of criminals. Signed, William J. David, Wilton Manors. Fed up, you hear? You think the public is fed up?
No.
No. Of course not. Like I said before, maybe old crusty farts like William David and Wilton Manors and me, maybe we're fed up with it. But it wouldn't happen unless the public liked it, because like I've told you a million times before, as long as you can win, whether it's Demetrius Underwood, whether it's Leroy Phillips, it doesn't make any difference who the hell it is. Lawrence Phillips, whatever his name is, Leroy Collins, Lawrence Phillips, it doesn't make any difference who the hell it is. Or what they've done. How many felonies, how much time. Mike Tyson, it makes no difference. If you can cash your bet, betting on them on a fight like Tyson, or if you can, cash your bet at winning a ball game, or if you just go to the game and want them to win and you're just a passing fan, which in this audience I doubt because we got nothing but chronic gamblers. But if that were the case, that's all they care about is winning. They don't give a crap. There's no such thing as principle or morals or ethics anymore when it comes to professional sports or even college sports. So get with it, William David. Get with the times, okay? Get with the 20th century, which is almost over in case you didn't notice. Nobody cares. This Tony Martin thing, like I said, for whatever reason, I don't get it. I just don't understand what the big Timmis is about this. There'll be a verdict coming out probably very shortly, which we'll have, and then, life will go on. In addition to which, what he's accused of having done is so minimal. I mean, I'm not saying that it's good. So minimal compared to what some of these other scumbags have done, like Lawrence Phillips, for example, and yet nobody had any problem, let's give him a chance. Maybe, just maybe, he can do it, get the job done, Cecil or Diesel, we don't care about what he did before. He's looking great, man. These exhibition games, he's the great dark hope for this ball club. That's all they care about. So if you want role models, like I said before, it better be the parents, and that's one of the big problems because we got a lot of scumbags reproducing in America these days, but that's about your only chance. You're not going to find role models in professional sports. I mean, that's a joke. And as far as Ted Williams is concerned, I remember those days when he was shooting pigeons out there in front of Fenway Park when the Red Sox had days off. That was always very impressive to me, That was my favorite. Plus, he's a sour old curmudgeon anyway, but be that as it may. 9 minutes after 10 at 5. Oh, look at that. 9:10 at 560 WQM. Our friend.
They play like men and they look like women.
He lives in the gay part of town. Unfortunately, he likes girls. And coming soon to theaters everywhere, you'll see why he has his ass wide shut.
Oh my God, I dropped my keys. What am I going to do?
Hey, hot stuff. You gonna bend over and pick those up, or you just gonna stand there and stare at them?
Bend over?
Impossible. He has to keep his ass wide shut.
What's the emergency, sir? I dropped my keys, officer. Oh, my. Can you cover me? Do it quickly. Clench and go.
No matter where he goes or who he meets, he must remember to keep his ass wide shut.
Thank you, officer. That was a close one. Ah, look out behind you. Keep your
Ass wide shut, coming soon.
10:14 at 560 WQM. By the way, more bad news for poor Beth Friedman. Did you see this today in the paper? Dane Yaman, teacher gave son drugs and booze. This is another kid, which I'll get into this a little bit later. But let's take all of these calls first. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Here's Boynton Beach. Hello.
How you doing, Neil?
Okay, sir.
Let me just give you my point of view. You may not agree, but I don't think he's a hypocrite. Only because if you're still doing it, then you're a hypocrite. But if it was done 20, 25 years ago, and you've changed your ways, and you've repented, and you don't do any acts like that again, and you know it's wrong, and you want to put people away for doing wrong.
Then why won't he answer the question?
Because he doesn't want to get into it.
Well, what do you mean he doesn't want to get into it? The people don't have a right to know that?
Neil, I'll quote you as you quoted during the Clinton thing, okay? 85% with the polls right now say they don't care if he did it before he was in public office. They don't want to know about it. That's what they said.
That is not what it says. I never saw a poll that said that. In fact, 11% of the people said that it would change their vote. I didn't see any poll that said 85% of the people don't care. It was about 50-50.
Nick, I saw that they said 84% said they don't care.
I don't know where you saw that poll.
It was on the MSNBC. It was on CNN, the Gallup poll. 84%. And
no,
yes, that was the same
correct.
poll that said the 11% did care. Yeah, it was the same poll.
No. That's not. You're misreading it. It's not whether they cared or not. Would you change your vote? It's got nothing to do with whether he's got an obligation to answer the question. Of course, he's got an obligation to answer the question.
I don't think he does. When we know for a fact that Bill Clinton did cocaine in the governor's
No, Bill Clinton did not do cocaine.
His brother is on it.
If you'd read your newspaper today, sir, there's a whole article in there about how Clinton never did cocaine.
Roger Clinton is on a surveillance tape saying his brother had a nose like a vacuum.
Let me say it again. Let me say it again. We don't know that. I don't care what Roger Clinton said. Okay, we don't know that for a fact.
Okay.
And the article, and they deny it. Okay.
Jennifer Flowers said she knows that he did it too.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I believe her? I mean, she slept with him for 12 years. I guess.
Why wouldn't you believe her? Okay, so so what you're saying then is it doesn't make a difference. It was Clinton that did make a difference, but if it's Bush, it doesn't.
When you do it while you're in public office, in the public trust of the people you're serving.
Sir, you don't understand. Here is a man who admits to having a booze problem in the past,
right,
and his cocaine or other drug involvement. These are all things that contribute to the kind of personality. Like I said yesterday, if this man has that kind of addictive personality, this is something people ought to know before they decide to put him in a position of being the president.
Well, he has said,
no matter who it is.
He did say he had a drinking problem, and he hasn't drank in 15 years.
Yeah.
And I probably, if I had to put my 2 cents on it, yeah, he probably did do cocaine 20, 25 years ago.
Yeah, how much?
If you read between the lines.
And it doesn't make him a hypocrite to be putting young people in jail for what he did 25 years ago. That doesn't make him a hypocrite.
No more than it would be a hypocrite if I told my son not to do drugs if I did it years ago. If you know it's wrong and you've changed your ways, of course you're not a hypocrite.
You're not a hypocrite. Okay,
thank
you. Okay, thank you. Okay. 5670560. You see, the people who are the Bush people, it's not going to make any difference what you tell them. It wouldn't make any difference if it came out that he just, he butchered up 4 women 30 years ago or whatever. It makes no difference what it was. Because this is the way that the partisan political animals in this country work. It makes no difference what the hell these people did. Just answer the goddamn question, that's all. And if there was and the longer it goes on that he stonewalls and refuses to answer the question, the more and more suspicions that they're going to be. When you're going to put somebody in position as being the most powerful goddamn man in the world with his finger on a button and the power to blow up the whole goddamn world, yeah, you have a right to know these things. I don't give a crap about who he slept with. Those things are immaterial. Who cares about that? But if he's got an addictive personality and he had a drug problem, I think at the very least we got a right to know how serious it was, along with his booze problem. No, he's not a hypocrite. No, just the fact that let me read it again. Let me read the paragraph again. In 1997, he signed a measure authorizing judges to give jail time to people convicted of possessing or selling less than 1 gram, 1/28th of an ounce of cocaine, a 28th of an ounce. Texas sentencing guidelines had previously prescribed mandatory probation for such small quantities. In other words, don't do as I did, do as I say. Because now I'm an adult, now I know it was bad. Like Henry Hyde. You know, he was only 41 when he broke up that guy's marriage, the guy up there in Weston. He was only 41. He was sowing his wild oats. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil. I want to make a comment about Demetrius Underwood, but first, I agree with you. He should answer the question. And it does matter. You're right. If he did do that, I had heard that now in Texas he was, and this may be true or it may not be, but I have heard that he was trying to steer first-time users into some sort of drug prevention program. Now, what you just said doesn't square with that. So I don't know the facts, but if what you just said is true, then yeah.
Well, I didn't make it up. I got it on Newsweek magazine. I don't think they'd put it in there if it weren't true.
I understand, but I think the totality is he might also be trying to get these guys into some sort of treatment programs. But like I said, I'm not sure.
That's not the case. That's not what it says.
Well, I've heard that is the case. Now, whether they're just not reporting that part of it.
Through the grapevine? Where did you know it?
How do you know he's not getting people into prevention programs?
How do I know that there aren't men on the moon? I mean, what kind of a statement is that? How do I know that he's not? All I do know is what I read here in a reliable news magazine about how he changed the law in the state of Texas, where he's the governor. That's what I do know.
Well, I understand that.
Somebody calling up on a talk show and says, I heard it, and you can't even tell me where you heard it. You heard it through the grapevine. That doesn't mean anything.
Well, Neil, I'm sure what you read is true, but I'm sure Newsweek also omits a lot. Yeah, they're objective. Yeah, right. I'm sure that they're not going to tell you the whole story.
Now you're going to tell me that Newsweek is a liberal magazine?
Oh, no, Neil. Gosh, no, it's not liberal. Come on, 95% of the media vote Democrat.
Get out of here. Yeah, see what I'm talking about? You can't deal with these people. Sir, someday maybe, I doubt it, but someday maybe you'll grow up. Then call me back and we can have an intelligent conversation. I can't deal with professional Republicans, Democrats, left-wingers, right-wingers. That's why I quit doing that crap years ago. It's a waste of time. Jesus Christ! When he heard somewhere. So they purposely omitted that. They purposely left that part out because they're so slanted and they want to get Gore or some Democrat in there. Newsweek. What a joke that is. Time and Newsweek and U.S. News. You tell me if any one of those three news magazines are liberal, and I'll eat the goddamn magazine right here on the air, you maniac. What the hell are you talking about? And by the way, if you look at the inside last page, who writes the last word in Newsweek every week? George Will. And, of course, we know what a raving liberal he is. Yeah. He's the one that does the editorial page for Newsweek magazine every week with his column. Get out of here. Grow up. Oh, yeah, we know that 95% of the media, it's all this Jew liberal media conspiracy. Right, okay. Whatever you say, pal. Don't confuse you with the facts. That's why I brought the thing in and I read it here, because I read it out of a credible news publication as opposed to having a bunch of bozos calling in and say, well, I heard the opposite. I heard it in a dream. I had a vision. Here's Miami Beach. Hello.
Neil, how you doing?
I don't know, sir. It's a lost cause.
Well, listen, I wouldn't vote for Bush if he did cocaine. I wouldn't vote for him if he did do cocaine.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I wouldn't vote for him if he drank beer or if he drank water. Okay.
Right.
So I'm not a
Or if he walked on water.
Did you happen to catch anything on American Airlines and their drug smuggling?
Yes, sir. I was going to talk about that.
That's
58 American Airlines employees arrested this morning. 58 American Airlines employees, mostly the guys who work out there with the luggage handlers. And the DEA arrested 58 for drugs, the smuggling drugs and all kinds of drug dealing at Miami International Airport. Let's hear it for American Airlines again.
Oh! But that explains why their planes are always late.
That's right. That's exactly what I said. It takes a lot of time to go through all the luggage and make sure you get the right ones.
Absolutely. Hey, listen, one thing before I leave, check out page 10A of the Herald in the back. It says media unfit, talks about Bush alluding to the question about cocaine. And this guy I don't want to read it. Just read it when you get time. You'll like it.
Okay.
Take care, Neil.
Thanks.
Bye.
American Airlines, as they continue just disgracing, it wouldn't be great. I mean, we already lost Eastern. That was unfortunate. I liked Eastern Airlines. But it would be nice. Maybe we could get American to move to Peoria or somewhere, Make that their hub instead of Miami. We get a real airline in there instead of a banana boat thing that they got going on with their drug smuggling. 58 people arrested by the DEA this morning. Late-breaking story. Just saw it this morning on the news. American Airlines employees, everyone. 5670560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. Like I said, you Bush people, lick him, okay? Lick him, love him, lap him, kiss him, hug him, whatever you like. Embrace him. I don't care. Makes no difference to me because I wouldn't vote for him anyway, for dog catcher. He stands for nothing. But the fact is that, you can't have it both ways. You have to, and even if he lie, okay? Lie about it. Just like Clinton did. We like liars. Lie about it. But don't evade the question and act incensed about this. Like, well, you play this gotcha game. Just answer the goddamn question. A yes or a no would be sufficient. Then let's move on. And by the way, the people that have covered him for some period of time as he's been governor there, I've been watching these discussions on TV the last several days. This real short fuse that he's got, this is nothing new. This ill temper that he's showing to the media. Now, a guy that had a drinking problem and maybe a harder drug problem, maybe, we don't know for sure, and it's already got a short fuse, a real ill-tempered guy. That's exactly the kind of guy we want to have the finger on the button, right? Sounds good to me. Sounds like a good kind of responsible guy. I prefer somebody like Liddy Dole. Yeah, she's my favorite. Liddy Dole. Uh-huh. That's why her husband can't get it up. Let me tell you right now. He don't need Viagra. He needs a new wife. Oh, my.
Well, we finished in the top 3, and we're very excited about it.
That's your America, baby. And if these are the candidates, if you think that these are the people who are best qualified, the best and the brightest, then heaven help us all. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Good afternoon, Neil. I should say good morning. How you
doing? Good evening. Yes, sir.
Can we change the subject and talk about steaks?
Yeah.
Anyways, my brother bought a house over in Brandon, just south of Tampa, and, we hear Burns. We got to go to Burns. So we had a chance to get out there, and my wife and I were not very impressed. Besides besides the atmosphere, the soup, the sides, the steak wasn't very good compared to Ruth Chris, which is my wife and I's favorite. We go there for our birthdays.
Yeah, I would agree. I do like Ruth Chris better, although I haven't been at Burns in many zillion years, so it's hard to comment.
Well, they got that fancy dessert room upstairs, and we were expecting some kind of super fancy dessert, and they give you like a little scoop of ice cream and some some squeezed fudge on it. It wasn't.
They were squeezing the fudge,
expected. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't what we expected. Yeah, the cherry on top. It wasn't what we expected, but we had a good time. But there's nothing like Ruth's Chris. We've been to about 6 around the country, and they're all the same. They're all great. The atmosphere is good. Great selection of wines, great desserts, and I just wanted to give you a call, let you know we went out there from hearing it on the show, but it wasn't. We were very disappointed.
Really?
Yeah. I was wondering if I could call someone a douchebag.
Go ahead.
Thanks, Neil. Scott Klein with Westminster Trubman. You're a case-solving douchebag.
Okay, don't forget, it burns. That's what Linda Blair said. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. They like the Bush, man. That's going to be the task of the Democratic Party in 2000. Lick Bush. 1026 at 560 WQMH.
Anybody have a heart or a liver?
No.
Well, he's a millionaire who's running for the president, who likes to party, but then I'm of course. All you gotta do to watch him dance like Fred Astaire is ever did he ever do to the north. He's a cold-hitting cowboy, George W. Bush folded his hat. He's a cold-hitting cowboy, but G.W. means that. It's none of ours, this is what he used to do. Stop confusing him with the truth. It's got to be a sanctimonious Republican war and move on with his rhetorical views. Seeking to special interest puppet up the Christian right, so there's only certain things he can say. But it's the same old rich guy with the same old lies. If too much Bush is not a good thing anyway. He's a cold-hitting cowboy, George W. Bush folded his act. He's a cold-hitting cowboy. GWB Top 10.
Bottom of page 3A in a Sun Sentinel this morning. White House, Clinton never used cocaine, which, again, if you believe him, fine. If you don't believe him, that's probably the case anyway. But there it is. Just a few short paragraphs. But nevertheless, whether he did or he didn't, it's a little bit late now. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Mobile One line. Here's Key Biscayne. Hello.
Neil, great show.
Yes, sir?
Hey, when George Bush was president, he elected a drug czar.
Yeah.
What is that, drug czar? I mean, who's Bill Clinton's drug czar?
The czar and the czarina.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
Drug czar. We're going to stop all the drugs coming in the country. Drug czar.
Yeah.
You don't hear it about
Well,
it.
they didn't check with American Airlines first, I guess.
Ugh. Come on. Drug czar.
Okay, thank you. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Mobile One line. Maybe that's where George W. was getting his drugs from, the drug czar. In fact, isn't that the place where he was shopping, Drug Czar Us? Here's West Palm Beach. Hello.
Well, good morning, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Neil. I've been out of the country for about the last 6 or 7 years, and it was such a nice pleasure to turn on the radio and find you
still here,
still there,
still stuck here. Yeah.
Well, in fact, the last time I talked to you, you had gone to lunch or dinner with Joey Reynolds to an empty restaurant. I think it was a Chinese restaurant or something.
Italian.
And that was the last. So what's that?
And he tried to get me to stab Rick and Suds in the back. Him and Russ Oasis. Yeah.
So you're now on WQAM.
Last time I checked.
Yes. Well, I
there's something wrong with your radio.
I haven't listened to that station since Ricky Tikki Shaw was on there.
Yeah. Well.
And I think with you on the radio station, it's probably going to draw some people at least in the 10 to 2 hours.
Well, I've been here it's not like I just started last week. I know you've been away, but I've been here for almost 2 years, and we're kicking serious ass. So it's already a fait accompli, so yeah.
Well, you built WIOD. I'm sure you'll build this station up big, too.
Well, we're trying like hell, yeah.
I know you got...
Even with this crappy equipment we got here and a cheap-ass outfit, we're trying.
Well, I'm calling on my own dime because the cheap SOBs don't even give you an 800
Don't even have an 800 line. We're on the air over in Fort Myers. Those bastards can't call in unless they want to pay for it. We're on the audio net all over the world. These people can't pay unless they want to pay for it because we got a bunch of cheap pricks running this joint. But anyway, it's nice hearing from you, sir.
Have a great day.
And back to you. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Mobile One line. We'll put this place on the goddamn map. That's right. Now, if we could just find somebody around here who can read a map. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, buddy?
Okay.
I want to show you a part of your argument that I think is flawed a little bit, and I want to make this point straight up. And I'm not a Bush supporter.
Yeah.
So I don't want you to cut me off and say, oh, that's one of those Bush guys, because I'm not. You say you have a problem with people with addictive personalities as the head of our country.
Of course.
Okay. I'm
not talking about sex addicts. I'm talking about people who are addicted to substances that could alter their mood and thinking.
But wouldn't you say Clinton has an addictive personality? Not just the sex, but just the sex.
Addictive to what?
What Clinton's addicted to?
Yeah.
Women, sex.
I just got through saying that. What does that have to do with anything?
It's an addiction.
Let me ask you this: are the Kennedys all sex addicts? Haven't they always been?
I don't know. Have they?
Well, read some books, okay? 567-0560, pound 560 on a Mobile One line. See, these people, what's the point of arguing with people who know nothing about history, nothing about anything that's happened in the last 30 or 40 years, forget about long before that. People's sex lives, generally speaking, unless it was something really bizarre that somebody might be blackmailed for, which, of course, in the Kennedys, that was the case. It could have been. But short of that, it doesn't make any difference whether it was Roosevelt with his mistress or Rockefeller or any of them. It's got nothing to do with anything. And trying to make comparisons, it's so lame to try to make comparisons of guys that want to screw around, which is most every guy, by the way, from last time I checked, with people who are addicted to very dangerous mind-altering substances. And I'm not talking about marijuana. I'm talking about cocaine. I'm talking about heroin. I'm talking about stuff like that. Hard drugs. This guy's worried about something else being hard. That's what he's worried about. But, of course, that's the American effing way anyway. And it's perfect that he lives in South Florida because you're not supposed to get it hard in South Florida. And believe me, the odds are you probably won't anyway. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Neil, good morning.
Yes, sir.
I'm a little bit surprised, listened to you for a long, long time, that you would throw your faith entirely behind any publication or any facet of the media in this country. and believe 100% what you hear or read in print. I'd like to quote something from a Newsweek article, if I could, recently, that has been proven to be completely false.
Yeah.
They did an article, and it's one of your favorite subjects, about gun control, and it was called Caught in the Crossfire, and it appeared June 28, 1999 in Newsweek.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a chart there that said, "Do laws save lives?" And the graphic portrayed the U.S. firearm-related death rate in 1993, the year that the Brady Act was passed, as 4,000 deaths for every 100,000 people in the country. In truth, the rate is actually 15 per 100,000, which is less than 1/2 of 1% of the figure that was claimed in the graphic.
Yeah.
And they have yet to retract.
Sir, to try to make a comparison between a statistical mistake or whatever you want to call that, and this is a very simple. Wait a minute. This is a very simple paragraph. They couldn't make up the fact that he signed a bill authorizing judges to put these people in jail. What would be the point? They could never get away with that.
Well, my point.
But what's the comparison? My
point is here that Newsweek was presented with the facts, and they tiptoed around it, and they did not print a direct retraction. And as far as media bias is concerned, the University of Michigan did a research that was just released over a 9-year period of time, 1,500 articles in the New York Times, the Washington Post, the LA Times, the Wall Street Journal, and it was proven in that study that, for instance, the NRA is indeed treated much differently than any other group. And I'm
good. That's good. I'm delighted that they're treated differently, and they ought to be treated differently. They ought to be treated differently, sir. And it's obvious that you're one of their members, and I don't waste my time trying to argue with the NRA members, okay? Because it's like talking to my little dog.
You son of a bitch.
I couldn't have said it better. Thank you, Charlton. God. Don't confuse. Let me say it again. One little paragraph here, an article by Stuart Taylor, Jr., Why the Story Matters. A legal expert calls for a national debate on the penalties for drug abuse in this week's August 30th issue of Newsweek magazine, and it says he signed a measure authorizing judges to increase the penalties, just like I read. We're not talking about statistics. We're talking about a statement of fact. And if you can prove to me that it's wrong, sir, I'll be more than happy to correct it. Because God forbid that we should trust that liberal media, the goddamn Newsweek magazine, with their article by George Will on the back inside page. Talk about paranoid. Let's talk the Trilateral Commission. Come on. Woo! Man, I'm shocked. I'm delighted that we got so many right-wing wingnuts out there listening to this show.
You son of a bitch.
Hallelujah. We're really making it big. 144 at 560 WQM. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to read the entire article by Stuart Taylor, Jr. It's very short, just a few paragraphs. And what you don't seem to understand, and maybe I didn't make it clear in the beginning, is that this article questions the whole concept of the drug laws that we have in America today and the hypocrisy of it. Why the Story Matters by Stuart Taylor, Jr., who is a senior writer at National Journal and a Newsweek contributing editor. A legal expert calls for a national debate on the penalties for drug abuse. Says the most important cocaine question for George W. Bush is this: would you seek long prison terms for today's 18-year-olds for doing what you say you may or may not have done as a young man, and when you now suggest that whatever you did was a mere youthful indiscretion and thus irrelevant to your candidacy? Countless thousands of people are rotting in prisons all across America, many in Texas, for being caught with small amounts of cocaine or crack, its smokable variant. Many were only peripherally involved in drug sales. Some were mere users. As governor of Texas, Bush, like most other politicians in both parties, has joined in this orgy of punishment with enthusiasm, signing laws that toughen penalties for drug users as well as pushers, and that send juveniles as young as 14 to prison for especially serious crimes, including some drug crimes. How can he square this with his position that whether he used drugs is irrelevant to his candidacy? If Bush won't tell us whether he used cocaine or other illegal drugs in his first 28 years, and there's no evidence that he did, he should at least tell us whether his admitted but unspecified young and irresponsible escapades would have landed him in prison during the drug law he supports if they'd been enforced against him. In 1997, Bush signed a measure authorizing judges to give jail time to people convicted of possessing or selling less than 1 gram, 1/28 of an ounce of cocaine. Texas sentencing guidelines had previously prescribed mandatory probation for such small quantities. And in 1995, Bush pushed through a new law expanding the list of crimes for which juveniles as young as 14, down from 15, can be tried and imprisoned as adults. It's not that Bush has been exceptionally tough on drug crimes, Most national Democrats, including President Clinton and Vice President Gore, support mandatory federal penalties for small-time drug offenders that are far harsher than the laws in Texas, where judges have at least discretion to show leniency to non-dangerous abusers. Still, there is strong journalistic justification for confronting any drug use in Bush's past. That would foster debate on a vital issue of national policy. Should Congress and the next president, as well as the states, revise the draconian drug sentencing regime that has packed prisons with nonviolent, small-time drug offenders, mostly poor and non-white, and help send the number of Americans behind bars soaring to above 1.8 million? As James Madison wrote in Federalist 57, one of the Constitution's safeguards against oppressive measures is that Congress can make no law which will not have its full operation on themselves and their friends, as well as on the great mass of society. The same logic argues that politicians should be pressed to say, and voters should be spurred to think about, how they would have fared if they had committed their own youthful indiscretions in the presence of, say, an undercover cop. Any Bush admission that he used cocaine when he was, say, 25 years old, if he did, should force him, his supporters, and the rest of us to do some hard thinking about whether today's 25-year-olds and 18-year-olds should go to prison for doing the same thing. Great article by Stuart Taylor, Jr. about the idiotic drug laws and enforcement of same and all the millions of people we got in jail for doing petty things, while the hard criminals out there, the dangerous people, are running around loose on the streets. But again, it's in Newsweek magazine, so it must be some commie, liberal, pinko Jew conspiracy, et cetera, and so on. You know what I'm saying?
You son of a bitch.
Exactly. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Here's a mobile in Hialeah. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I'm not a big events guy, but I hear you talking about this and other people talking about the Bush thing. That last article there cleared it up a little bit. There's no evidence that he's used drugs. Who's accusing him of all this?
Who's accusing him? Well,
yeah.
he backed himself into a corner because he said that he could have passed the national security test when his father was president because he hadn't done this and yada yada at that time, and he backed himself into a corner when they asked him this about drugs because he admitted his booze problem. He refused to answer the question.
What exactly is he being accused of? I didn't get that out of the article.
Well, what do you mean is he being? Don't you read the news? Don't you watch a newscast or read a newspaper?
Not much. No, it's all crap.
It's all crap?
Well, it's what the media wants you to hear. It doesn't have anything to do with the truth.
So then what's the point of talking about it?
Well, I thought
who's going to give you the truth? Where are you going to get the truth?
You, sir. God.
Uh-huh.
That's why I was listening.
Oh, I don't want to burden you with the truth, sir. I don't think you can handle it. Oh. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Here's Pompano. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Spy report. I was at Universal Studios this Saturday waiting to buy my $30 hamburger. Next to me, Mayor Pinellas with the entire family, mother, father, granddaughter.
Yeah.
And I said, Mayor, how's the transportation situation going on in Dade County? No answer. Stared down to me like he wanted to kill me.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to my table. I start arguing with my relatives, and they call me a Hispanic traitor.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think they're assholes is what I think.
But not a word, Neil. He just looked at me.
Yeah.
I was waiting for him to pull out his Dade County Metro Dade visa.
Okay, well, I'd squeeze my passport real tight if I were you, and your visa too, okay, and your MasterCard. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, this is me, of course.
Sounds like you.
It seems to me that it's obvious that he passed the law, and anybody that would argue that is a complete idiot.
Well, I mean, these people are so paranoid. Unless I get some kind of a written affidavit in here, I guess I can't read anything out of a newspaper or a magazine or whatever, because if they don't happen to like what it is, they're going to question the veracity of it.
Well, I like the whole article because it was something that I'm in favor of, which is to do away with putting people up for smoking a joint and or whatever.
Right.
That was the emphasis of the article to start with. But Bush being good or bad, basically we have three institutions in the United States that have the same credibility. It would be the government, religion, and championship wrestling.
Right, exactly.
And I think I got a better shot.
That's why Jesse Ventura is the perfect candidate.
Absolutely. At least I know what I'm getting.
He's got 2 out of the 3 nailed down to his science.
Absolutely. So, I think Bill Murray got it right when he said it really doesn't matter because the rich guys are going to get all the good-looking guys and girls anyway.
There you go. So maybe the last guy was right. Who gives a crap? It's all a bunch of crap.
I don't know. I'm long in the tooth a bit, but I still work and I read 5 papers a day. And if you read them, it's It's as the world turns. It's just a joke. I mean, it's insane. I read the New York Post, I read the Herald, I read the Fort Lauderdale News, I read the USA Today, and it's all the same crap. Throw it in a blender. We could have a universal newspaper, and you just get one for your whole life.
Yeah, just a bunch of crap. You're right.
And it would be the same. I mean, if you don't take it that way, Neil, you're going to go nuts.
You're right. Like I say, my philosophy, do the best you can. That's all we can do.
That's it.
Okay, pal.
Have a good day, my friend.
Right. He's right. Just do the best you can. And the other guy that called a minute ago, you're better off. Don't read the newspapers. Don't worry about these things. You're right. It's all a bunch of crap. That's true. Because it's like, it's like shooting fish in a barrel. You stick your hand in there and pull one out. They're all the same. And a lot of you people are so juvenile and so immature. I mean, it's a sad thing in this country, and I guess maybe this isn't the only country, but because we only have two political parties, there's this schism. It's about even right down the middle. And it's, Democrats good and Republicans bad, or the other way around, And it's idiotic. They all suck. They all stink. And the best I can say for Bubba and some of the people of his ilk is that they were a buffer against right-wing extremism. That's all. They didn't offer us anything sensational. And the fact that by luck the economy is going great, that's what we're supposed to be all excited about, is if they had a lot to do with that. I think maybe just Reagan going off and forgetting what it was all about, maybe that helped, okay, because it wasn't trickling down too good. Nancy says, squirt. It's trickling down pretty bad these days, by the way. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how's it going?
Okay, sir.
Hey, Neil, you're wrong about one thing there, but all the hardened criminals are not on the streets. I think they're all playing for the Miami Dolphins right now.
Yeah.
And another thing, listening to your conversation on Monday about American Airlines just reaffirmed the fact that I don't want to fly in it. And then this morning when I hear in the news that there's drugs going on board and guns and explosives and ammunition, and then I hear that one of the people who got arrested is a Broward County deputy sheriff.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. So maybe there's a Broward County deputy sheriff and 2 IRS federal agents that was working part-time at the airport. So I'm thinking maybe Sheriff Ken Jenney there.
Ken Jenney, yeah.
Should stop worrying about private swing clubs and people doing their own time, and maybe start worrying about what some of his deputies are doing.
Start cleaning up your own act, Sheriff. Sheriff, that's right.
So I'm out of material, Neil.
Okay, God bless you, sir, and don't fly American, whatever you do. We despise American Airlines. In spite of some of your silly queens calling in the last couple of days, we know who you are. You're not fooling us. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Mobile One line. 58 people busted drugs over there, smuggling stuff on the planes. And like I said, it takes a long time to go through all that luggage and find out which ones are the right ones, which ones got the Tony and stuff like that. Here's Virginia Key. Hello.
Hi, Uncle Neil.
Yes, sir.
This whole thing with Bush started.
The Bush thing?
Yeah, I have the quote on my wall, the one that started his problems. I believe it was a reporter for Texas Monthly Magazine was interviewing him for a short biographical article, and he said, quote, marijuana, cocaine, I'm not going to talk about what I did as a child.
As a child.
As a child. Right?
That's like Henry Hyde when he was sowing his wild young oats when he was 41, right.
So right there, I mean, he's basically admitting that he did it. He just doesn't want to discuss it.
Right.
So there's no question any of you idiots that are still out there thinking that.
And then he went beyond it. He made it even worse by saying before the last 25 years, in other words, after he was 28 years old, he didn't do any of these things. So that's like saying, okay, before I was 28, obviously I did.
I was doing kilos.
Right.
Anyway, I just wanted to call you and
in fact, I heard that it's going to be the state motto in Texas, things go better with Coke. That's just a rumor. Just a rumor that I started. Have a great day, sir. Because you know me, commie, pinko, fag, I start things like that just to be an agent provocateur. Because I'm the anti-Bush man. I mean... Hey, when this is on, I can't be bothered with stuff like doing a radio show, okay? 567-0560, pound 560 on the Mobile One line. By the way, let me tell you again, in the new Britney Spears video, Crazy, the one where she's got the green outfit on, oh, man. Now you guys that are wasting your time with Jennifer Lopez, forget that ugly bitch, okay? Just get back to Britney, get back on the right track, so to speak.
Look at my butt. I'm such a beautiful singer.
all the guys, they want me. From the old to the teenager. I am hot, I have to say. I sing real good, my acting's okay. God, I look good. Might have a chance with this beautiful singer. I got sultry bedroom eyes and a bod I like to show. With my soft and creamy thighs, had a kid you'd never know. To see me is to want me. Got a real tight booty. My bra is packed with speed. You see me all over MTV. Not bad at 40 years. I know you want me. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Beautiful singer. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Beautiful singer.
11:02 at 560 WQAM. We got the Mad Dog, Jim Nandich. 2 to 6 this afternoon from Shula Steak 2. And then we got Donnie B talking baseball 6 to 7. 6 to 7, can that be right? Why is that, I wonder? The Diamondbacks and Marlins 7 o'clock. Well, that's what it says on the thing, and it can't be wrong. You know what I'm saying? There's no way there can be a mistake on there. Maybe they make a mistake in Newsweek, okay? But our program director,
get off your duff.
He don't make no mistakes when it comes to making out those schedules. You know what I'm saying?
Get off your duff.
So it must be right. Not that anybody cares, of course. Then, of course, this R.J. Intandola business in Hallandale with this alleged hit and run. This little accident where he allegedly smashed into this guy's car as he was flying allegedly around the making his left turn, and then didn't stop. Kept on going and claims that he was confused and couldn't find the intersection where this happened and went to City Hall to report that he had a wreck. And they said, well, they gave him a ticket for running a red light, but other than that, that's it. They will not charge him any further, even though this other guy's car was smashed to smithereens and he was all shaken up. 73-year-old Sal Amato. We'll get into that. And again, you know, different strokes for different folks. It goes back to that thing about James Madison again, you know, saying that if we pass laws, they should be, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, basically, is what he said. But not necessarily good for R.J. Intandola or George W. Bush or Bill Clinton or anybody else. So in other words, if you do something a little hanky-panky, with or without Tommy James and the Shondells, you got serious problems, baby. Like maybe go to a swing club, even though you think it's private and you paid a lot of money to go in there, so that the SWAT team can come in and try to disgrace and embarrass and cost you your job and ruin the rest of your life. But if other people do these things who happen to be in positions of power and know the right people and pull the right strings, for example, I love this. The North Miami Beach Police Department said there were no plans to further investigate the crash, the one involving this R.J. Intandola, the city mangler from Hallandale for 100 years with his outhouse gang. The matter is closed, said Sergeant Alan Graham, spokesman for the department. There's no need for further investigation. The police department stands behind its decision not to further charge Intandola, although the policy the decision was based on is unwritten, said Graham. Although, according to Graham, if someone involved in an accident returns to admit the incident, he or she is not charged with leaving the scene. You know who that reminds me of? A few years ago, and by the way, the guy is dead.
It's not Rick Sanchez.
Well, I'm glad I didn't say it. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. And the guy's still dead, by the way. Here's Lauderhill. Hello.
Hey, Neil. Oh, God.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I want to touch on two things. First of all, about these folks who say that the media is liberal biased. You know, the two most lambasted presidents of my lifetime have to be Carter and Clinton.
Right.
Carter deserved it, but
they were all over Clinton from even before he took office. They were all over him like stink on crab.
How can anybody see all this? You have to not read the papers, listen to the TV news to say that Clinton and Carter were not touched by the media. How could you call liberal media when they're lambasting this guy?
In addition to which, like if you look in our local newspapers, 95% of the columns that are in there, you got Cal Thomas, you got William Safire, George Will. I mean, finding a liberal or even a moderate columnist in it was like looking for a needle in a haystack down here.
And a General Hackina Bush, whatever his name is.
Right.
It's awful. A second thing I wanted to say
General Hackina Chinik.
Yeah. Now, about Lick and Bush, I want to just compare the two most likely candidates for both parties for President, Gore and Bush.
Yeah.
One of them was from a powerful rich family in Tennessee who wound up joining the U.S. Army and went to Vietnam when he could have gotten out of it. The other one was from a powerful rich family in Texas who avoided the draft by having his father getting him into the National Guard. What does the conservatives have to say about that? If they just lend to Clinton for all this stuff?
Yeah.
That's just a point I wanted to make out. No, I can't even wait till they get to the sex part.
Well, see, this is why they're squirming so good now. Don't you understand? This is why they're having a nervous breakdown, because now the shoe is on the other foot, and now we're going through Newt Gingrich with his messy, smarmy divorce and all of his affairs. I mean, when the shoe is on the other foot, all these right-wingers, man, all of a sudden they start squirming and get real uneasy and carrying on like a bunch of lunatics.
Yeah, of course, and with Bob Barr taking his girlfriend, having an abortion.
Right, right.
Amazing.
Just little things like that, and Bob Livingston and all of these things, right.
You know, I don't agree with it, but I could respect people who are against abortion or whatever. But then you have to live, practice what you preach, and these people aren't doing it. Henry Hyde and such.
Just remember, don't do as I do as I say.
Amen. Hey, have a nice day.
And have a great life.
You too.
5670560. Pom, we're waiting breathlessly on that Tony Martin decision. We've had no calls on it yet, and also no calls on that bitch that wrote that article in the Herald, which you already threw in the paper this morning, threw in a basket. Linda Robertson. Why? I listened to that thing this morning with the worst team, and maybe it's the sports nerds. They get so whipped up and so bent out of shape over nothing, as though somehow that she writes an idiotic column like that. She's got no credibility, and that's going to tarnish Dan Marino's image or his reputation, or somehow smear his life. I don't think so. Nobody with a brain is going to believe what she wrote for a second. In addition to which, like I said before, a character witness testifying at a trial for a friend of theirs or a colleague or whoever the hell it is, there's nothing unusual about it. It's not like you know what it reminds me of now? Maybe if it was somebody like
Roy
testifying at the OJ trial, maybe then we might kind of have a different view on it. You know what I'm saying? You think so?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I know I would.
Roy!
Here's Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Yes, how you doing, Neil?
Okay, sir.
I enjoy your show.
Thank you.
You know, it's funny, we spent 7 years absolutely hearing that everything Bill Clinton did was absolutely relevant.
Yeah.
And yet, my question on this George W. is, when did he do this? Did he do it when his father was president, or when his father was vice president, when he was in the National Guard?
Yeah.
I mean, how do we know that he wasn't busted and let go? Because...
Well, he says it was not in the last 25 years.
Okay, so...
So that would make him 28.
Okay, so when did Bill Clinton get involved in the, his problem with the land deal?
In the 70s.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was relevant there to get a special prosecutor and go after this
And
guy.
by the way, the special prosecutor says he still ain't done, by the way.
Right.
Still ain't done. The investigation isn't finished yet.
They've looked underneath every single rock.
Right.
This guy is the most investigated president in history, and they're still going after him. Hey, you know what? We need to get a special prosecutor to look into George W. and Jeb.
Yeah. Don't forget Carmela.
Yeah. That's another one there.
Yeah.
I mean,
and you notice, by the way, how that story just got glossed over real quickly. And, it's amazing that we supposedly have this raving liberal bias in the media, and yet here's a story about a Republican governor, a right-wing Republican governor here in Florida, whose wife committed a serious crime that most other people would have had very severe consequences for. And, she just made a mistake. She was nervous, and that's the end of that.
Yeah, and my question
Slap her
is...
on the wrist with a couple of grand, whatever it was, and that was it.
My question is was that the first time? In other words, this woman's been going out of the country for years, and for all we know, she's been doing this now for years.
Yeah.
I mean,
let's get Jack Webb on the case.
It's called hypocrisy.
Right.
And I think
don't do as I do as I say.
Right.
That's the politicians' credo in America, and most of them fit right in there very nicely. Don't do as we do, just do as we say. We say all the right things, even though we're a bunch of bullcrap artists.
Just like you said about Newt. Here, Newt's up there talking about how bad Clinton is. Meanwhile, he's having an affair.
Yeah.
During the time he was talking about
my favorite was when he was screwing around and his first wife was dying from cancer.
Right.
And he came in and she's dying on her deathbed, and he comes in to get her to sign the divorce papers.
Right.
That was really classy.
That was
special.
When they talk about the liberal media, have you gone out of this area and tried to find anybody who's not a conservative right-wing wacko on the radio? You can't find anybody who's not a right-winger.
That's right. You got Gordon Liddy, you got Lard-ass Limbaugh, you got that Alan Keyes guy who's a Schwarzer right-winger. I mean, Ollie North, 95% of the people on there are right-wingers. Almost all the talk shows in America that are politically oriented are right-wing, and yet it's this tremendous liberal bias we got.
Yeah, I don't know where it is.
God, I must have tremendous power. I didn't realize it. Have a great day, pal.
You're the liberal bias.
Okay. See ya. And proud of it. 11 at 560 QM. You know,
hurricane fucking blow.
Hello, suckers. My name is Columba. I got off the plane. For shopping in France to put your money away. Bought designer clothes, expensive baubles and jewels. And you in advance the duty tax was due. I tried very hard to smuggle. And they wouldn't let me buy. But I did not get in trouble. 'Cause I'm the governor's wife. Yes, I'm Jeb's obedient wife who wants to live up my life with special favors. After all, my husband's brother will soon be your dictator. I'm like Florida's Avita. I buy anything I need and just one thing more. I'll preach on Christian family values when I get dust from the store.
Only the name has been changed to protect the smuggler. I'm sorry about that. How come I called her Carmela? Do I know anybody named...
No.
Well, whatever. And don't go into that thing about brown. She's a brown. You know, that's so bad. You and that anti-Mexican thing you got. But at any rate, it's Columba, okay? Columba. Get the name right, okay? And don't do the thing about she only had one eye, okay? That's the other Bush. 567-0560, pound 5 was Colombo, and pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Weston. Hello.
Hello, Neil. Good morning.
Yes, sir.
I read the article this morning by Robertson, and 99% of it was bad. The only thing that may have made sense, it really put Marino on the spot. They ask him to go, and he doesn't. He looks bad, and if he does go, he looks bad. He was kind of put in a bad position.
Hey, I don't. Well, why
he
did
was
he look?
sticking up for a
Why
friend.
did he look bad?
No, that's what people think. If he doesn't go, then he's selfish. If he does go, he looks bad. I think he did the right
Wait a
thing.
minute, you keep repeating that. I haven't heard anybody who said he looks bad except her.
Yeah, that was the article. That it really put him in a situation. But I think he did the right thing.
Yeah.
Someone asked him to, go as a friend, and he did.
Being a character witness for a friend, especially somebody you've known for years, and somebody who hasn't been. He wasn't accused of murdering people like
Exactly.
OJ.
But to rip him was really unnecessary, and it really was bad. But then they okayed it, and that's the Herald. That's why it has to be the worst paper I've ever read.
It is. It's the worst piece of crap in the history of the human race.
And I remember years ago when everyone was ripping Clinton, and I'm thinking, what if down the line, and I'm a Republican and I'm moderate, but what if a candidate is with the Republican Party and the shoe's on the other foot? We'd really feel what it was like, and now that's true. I mean, if he did something a quarter of a century ago, I mean, you can't look back. Look forward. And he says, yes. They ask him the question. He answers it. Let's move on. Am I sorry? Yes,
right.
I am.
Just be honest. Just come clean, and now let the people evaluate it for whatever they will, and let's move on.
That distresses me more in skirting the issue than just being upfront and saying, yes, I did. Am I sorry?
It makes
yes.
him look really devious, and it makes him look like a liar, and of course that's the last thing that people want. We've already had a liar for 8 years, and even though the public are happy with the job he did, they don't want another liar, so they say.
But the shoe's on the other foot now, and and then 4 years from now it'll probably be back the other way. It's really depressing.
You notice, in spite of this allegedly tremendous liberal bias of the media, the Dan Burton scandal, the Henry Hyde scandal, the Bob Livington scandal, the Newt Gingrich 2 scandals, with the book deal and then with the divorce business. These things, they just get like 10 seconds worth of media coverage, and you never hear another word about it. That's the end of it.
The Republicans will feel they're our guys, so it's okay, and and I'm sure the other party feels, well, if ours guy, well, it doesn't matter who does it. It's still bad, and you live in a glass house, you can't throw stones, and I think they're finding that out. But there's no one other than Bush. I mean, it's all downhill after him, and our party is really pretty sad right now, and I just wish he would be upfront and stand up and say the right thing and move on from there.
Amen.
You got a good show, Neil.
Thanks. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Does America need more Bush?
No.
That's the question. Thank God his father wasn't a liar. Read my lips. Oh, I'm sorry. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. How soon they forget, huh? What a sad, sad cast of characters, baby. Take a look at him, man. Take a look at Steve Forbes. That is, if you'd want to lose your appetite for lunch. How could anybody look at him? And by the way, remember about his daddy? I don't want to say it. And take a look at that Liddy Dole. I mean, I'd vote for G. Gordon Liddy before I'd vote for that Liddy. And I'd rather be dead than vote for that fascist son of a bitch. She's a silly person. She's a simpleton. You know who she reminds me of? Pat Schroeder. Remember the Democratic Congressman woman from Colorado? She was a babbling idiot, a babbling simpleton. But the left-wing bulldogs loved her for whatever reason, so she was a big hero to them. Yeah, that's American politics for you, baby. The best money can buy. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in Boca. Hello.
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Can't believe all this liberal bull crap I'm hearing this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, about
anything liberal must be bullcrap. That's right.
Al Gore being a war hero, he was a military journalist.
Yeah.
Gosh, boy, he must have put his butt on the line. Who got him that job as a military journalist, I wonder?
Probably people that knew his daddy, Senator Gore.
Right. I mean, and Neil, but you say the media.
In addition to which, I'm not the one that said that. A caller said that. I didn't say it.
No, I know that. But Neil, you're saying the media is not liberal. You ever watch CNN or CBS or ABC?
Yeah,
or
all
NBC?
the time. All the time.
You ever read the New York Times?
Did you ever watch ABC? Did you ever watch Sunday Morning on ABC?
Yeah, they have one conservative, George Will.
What about Bill Kristol? He's not conservative. And what about Cookie Roberts?
Cookie Roberts is a liberal.
You're out of your mind, sir. She
was
hyperventilating on that last day, that last gasp of the impeachment hearing. She was hyperventilating when Robert Byrd said he might vote in favor of impeachment. She was foaming at the mouth. You're out of your mind. She's a liberal.
He's an ex-Klansman, that Democrat Robert
Yeah,
Byrd.
I know all about that. Yeah, we know that.
Yeah, and also, Neil,
sir, you're another one of these political children, okay? Democrats bad, Republicans good. I don't have time to waste with overgrown children, okay? I just got through saying a few minutes ago, they all suck. And you can't deal with that, okay? Because you're a political child. You're a juvenile. You're pre-adolescence, prepubescence politically. You can't grow up. 567, yeah, good. In fact, who was the one that was on the air talking about Robert Byrd, the ex-Klansman, during the so-called impeachment hearings? I was the one who pointed that out and brought it up over and over again. A born-again Klansman. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Pompano. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
2 points, if I might. Number one, on George W.
Mm-hmm.
You got to realize that he sort of fired the first shot when he volunteered on his character issues that he was so faithful to his wife.
Yeah.
So he'll answer some
and then he fessed up about the booze problem, but I guess that was pretty much public knowledge anyway.
Right.
He was forthcoming about that. And then he's deciding, he's picking and choosing. He'll answer, these over here and these on column B. He will not answer. That's not the way the game is played. You can't do that.
And on Colombo, why in the world did she fly back into Atlanta Hartsfield coming from Europe? Why didn't she go into Miami where she might have got a little preferential treatment being the first lady?
I think the word you're looking for is dumb.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
All right, got to run.
Thank you.
Right.
Just like the voters of Florida put him in the first place, but again, he ran against the dead man. You had Bill Clinton ran against the dead man there, Bob Dole, the one time. And then you had Jeb Bush ran against the dead man, Buddy McKay. So these are the kinds of elections the public has in America, and people keep, you got to be more involved, you got to be an activist. Yeah, great. I mean, you take a look at these. You take a look at Bill Bradley and Al Gore. Between the two of them, have a personality of a dead man. They you know who they remind me of? Don Imus. A dead man in a chair. That's the kind of personality they got. And then you look on the other side, and you got George W., who stands basically for nothing, which is, I think, the reason that he's ahead of everybody else is because his name is Bush and he stands for nothing.
The word for Perot.
In fact, that ought to be his theme song. My name is Bush and I stand for nothing, something like that. And then you got Elizabeth Dole, Steve Forbes, like I said, with a face that looks like the end of the war, like they just fought a war on it, who's just another babbling right-wing nutcase, who's all over the place, by the way, although I do like his tax cut for the rich. And, yeah, I do like that. No, seriously, the flat tax is a great idea. That's one of the prices you pay for being, voting Democratic is you'll never get a break on that because the idea is you should never make any money in your life. Well, you put that crap away. Give it back to Carlos. He'll appreciate that. God, he's got bad taste. All this porno that we're sitting here pouring over. And you know something? It's so pleasant in here today, you know what? It's so pleasant. I don't know what it is that happened, but it's almost like some miracle has happened in this building. Here's a mobile in Hollywood. Hello.
Good afternoon, Neil.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
I think in today's society, you'd be hard-pressed to find somebody in the population that hasn't at least experimented with drugs. in one way or the other.
Yeah.
And my only point is that, it's obvious that Bush is hiding something. I think that the majority of the people, though the Republican Party may think that, most of us are stupid, we know that, if he was forthright and honest, which doesn't come with politics
like his sister-in-law, right?
Correct. That, I think he would earn a little bit more respect if he just came out and said, look, I did it, I had a problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing, I would have a little apprehension if he had a cocaine problem, because once an addict, always an addict.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is, if you're looking at the next 4 years with Bush and Gore as your front runners to be president,
yeah.
I think we're in a sad state of politics in this country. And I usually, I vote. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I vote for the best candidate that I think is out there. And at this time, I think that there's too many people that are undecided. You have Gore, who's got the personality of a wet mop.
Yeah.
And you have Bush, who just cannot find it in himself to be honest with the people that, he wants to represent. And I have a hard time, accepting the fact that he won't explain what he did 25 years ago, when in his state alone passed some of the toughest drug laws there is in the country.
Okay.
Thank you.
And have a great day. Okay, well, the nature of the drug laws, like I said, reading that article before speaks for itself. Although, of course, that was a Newsweek, so it was probably a lie. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T. Oh, and Cookie Roberts is a liberal. How do you like that? Well, that was a bulletin, huh? Yeah, next we'll find out that Bill Kristol's a liberal, too. And then there's that George Stepp on top of us. They finally got him off of there. That little weasel, that little backstabbing weasel. Oh, yeah, he's one of those, too. 26 after 11 at 560 WQM.
Sportsback Radio, WQAM.
Al Gore, as you have never heard or seen him before.
4 years ago, you gave me your nomination to be vice president. This is some crap. I've been watching you doing that Macarena on television. And if I could have your silence, I would like to demonstrate for you the Al Gore version of the Macarena. I am not trying to do Macarena. Macarena. Would you like to see it again? Tengo mucha compasión. Tengo mucha emoción. Tengo mucha pasión y un gran corazón. When your alarm goes off in the morning, Macarena. When one of your children reaches for cereal and fruit, Macarena. 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 Macarena.
11:32 at 560 WQM. Jim Mad Dog Mandich from Shula Steak 2 at 2 o'clock for Hank this afternoon. There's only one, next to Jesse the Body, there's only one person in this country who's really would be a great leader to be the president, and he never will be because he's too liberal and because he was against the death penalty in New York. Mario Cuomo, that's right.
Oh, gee, there he goes again with that liberal crap again. Yeah, and we know he's one of those, Sicilian guys.
Yeah. Brilliant guy. Of course, like heads and shoulders above the average American public, so he's like too much of an intellectual. Great speaker, tremendous inspirational leader. That's what you need, a face man. That's what Kennedy was, which most people don't realize. He's a face man. 5670560, pound, same with Roosevelt. Face man. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Yeah, Neil, wouldn't you say it's just a little bit hypocritical to condone everything that Clinton has done?
Who's condoning everything that he's done? I've never done that.
I've heard you rant and rave for months and months. It says everything that he's done about getting laid and getting a good BJ.
Getting laid, sir. Let me say it again. What did I say about George Bush's sex life? I don't care about his sex life. Didn't I say that this morning?
Oh, but you're going to crucify the guy because he did a little blow 25 years ago?
I didn't say I'm going to crucify. I wouldn't vote for him if he did or didn't do blow. I'm just talking about he ought to be forthcoming. The public has got a right to know about blow. That's what I said. And blow is something you know. Believe me, I can tell. You're going to crucify the guy because he did a little blow? 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Trace that call, by the way. Cokehead. Got a serious rectum crack problem. Here's North Miami. Hello. North Miami. Okay, good one. Five sound like Robin Luke, Susie Darlin. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Coral Springs. Hello.
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Do you know who Cokie Roberts' father is?
No.
Hale Boggs. Do you know who Hale Boggs was?
Yeah.
He was one of the biggest liberal Democrats in the 60s.
And
you know who her husband is? Steve Roberts. You know who that is, right?
I don't care who her
Okay,
husband or father was.
You know, you're saying, you're trying to tell us that she's a conservative.
Sir, I read an article here on the air during the impeachment hearings telling us where she was coming from, at least as far as Clinton is concerned. She was as anti-Clinton as anybody in
Being
America.
honest, that's all. I mean, there's honest liberals out there.
And what about Bill Kristol on that show? Is he a liberal?
No, I agree with him. I agree with what he said.
No, that's not the question. Do you agree with him? And obviously you do because you're a conservative. That's,
no, I
that's
agree
fine.
with what he said about this Bush thing.
Sir, let me say it to you again.
Okay.
Is Bill Kristol a liberal?
He's a conservative.
Yeah, and
No
George
question.
Will, is he a liberal?
He's a conservative.
Okay. Sam Donaldson is watered down. He's meaningless.
He's a watered down liberal. You're right.
No, he's not even watered down liberal. He was hot to trot for Clinton's ass all during the impeachment hearing.
Can I make a couple points?
So that's 3 out of 4 that I hear so far.
Well, I mean, you know the poll they took in Washington. I don't want to talk about that. About the Washington press corps. Okay,
Yeah, okay. They're all, and you know something? Maybe the reason that there's so many people in the press who are liberal is because they're more highly educated. But I hate to say that to you, sir, because you'd probably take it personally.
That could be.
Yeah, that probably is.
You know that the guy called about George Bush going to Vietnam. You know what he did in Vietnam?
What did he do?
He was a typist. He never came
No,
with
not George Bush. Al Gore.
I mean, Al Gore.
Get it right, sir. You're so tongue-tied and so worked up into a frenzy, my right-wing friend, you can't even get the name right. We already heard that. He was a typist. He was typing it, but at least he was there. That was a start. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Boy, I tell you, I'm proud today. I can't believe we got this many good old right-wingers out there listening. It's phenomenal. Man, incredible. And this guy's so worked up, he's stumbling all over himself. He's obsessed with Bush. I've never been big on Bush, I'll tell you that right now. Here's South Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
I saw Cuomo when I was 22. I was inspired beyond belief.
Yeah.
But, 2 days later you wake up, you really can't do much. I just think what people lose point is that Gore is a lot more conservative in his thinking and in his when he was in the Senate than most people give him credit for.
Gore is conservative? Is that what you're
Well,
telling me?
he is pretty conservative.
No, I don't agree.
You don't agree?
No.
I really think this whole Bush thing it's planted by mostly the Republicans to, again, talk about that liberal media. And I don't think they're scared of Gore as much as they're scared of Bradley.
First of all, you're forgetting that the other Republican candidate or hopefuls there they're the ones that are using this now. In fact, all the Democrats that I see coming on now, the people from the White House that are saying, hey, enough with this crap already, let's move on, and who cares about this?
From what
They're letting the Republicans just slice each other up.
Exactly. I just really think the Republicans are throwing the presidential election. They're concentrating a lot more in the senatorial. Because they're going to sandbag whatever Democrat... No, listen to me. They're going to sandbag whatever Democrat's going to come on.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah, they're sandbagging it. They don't want the White House. They're just going after the Senate. I thought they already controlled the Senate. Well, they just want to strengthen their grip on it, and the Senate, too. Oh, man, if we got some politically astute people in this crowd, man, you guys are right on top. You got your thumb on it. No question about that. People that don't read a newspaper, they don't read a magazine. And this guy, Bill Kristol. He's a real good moderate guy there, a fascist, a real ultra-right-wing fan. In fact, the rumor has it, I just started the rumor, that he and George Will run around the table singing Deutschland über alles before they tape that show every Sunday morning on ABC. That's just a rumor I started. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. In fact, George would look really good with one of those little mustaches, George Will. Oh, he'd look really cute, beady glasses, kind of like Heinrich Himmler on a bad day. Looks a little like Hermann Goering if he just gained some weight. 21 before noon at 560 WQAM.
That the Lord even loves Neil Rogers.
My friends,
I believe it's time this country had some moral Christian leadership. For that, I need your checks and money orders. Friends, I can assure you I know what's best for you. Good little Christians trying to run our lives with red balls in their mouth on Friday night. Good little Christians spewing their hate around and power grabbing for a new third right. Good little Christians brainwashing all their kids, grow up believing fairy tales are true. Why do you have to pay to believe the way they always told you to? If business needs checks from you, got their marketing too. Good little Christians, forgiven instantly. That's why they never have to tell the truth. Good little Christians, married to shepherd wives. They like to swap and swing in cheap hotels. Good little Christians, protecting us from ourselves, from rings of fire in the depths of hell.
Follow me, old friends, for I know the way. Take my hand and let me guide you down the primrose path of ignorance.
I think George raised a good point. Why do you think they call her Cokie Roberts, huh? Cokehead Roberts? It's 11:45 at 560 WQAM. Yeah, I say let's vote for Gary Bauer, huh?
Oh!
Let's have a good religious leader in there, somebody pious, somebody who looks like we can really trust him. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Still waiting for the verdict in the Tony Martin trial. Still no word. They're deliberating. They're talking, they're going bop, 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 like that. And so far they've come up with squat. Here's a lady mobile in Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Hi.
Yes, ma'am.
I have to tell you that I was never big on until my husband introduced me to it. And
You're never big on what? Your phone's cutting up. Never big on what?
I'm sorry, talk radio.
Yeah.
And my children sit in the car, and every now and then we'll hear the put the lotion in the basket. So every now and then throughout the house, somebody will say, "Hey, Papa," and he says, "Yeah, put the lotion in the basket."
It puts the lotion in the basket.
We enjoy you thoroughly, and I was never also into politics, but I enjoy listening to you. And every now and then in the conversation, I can tune in to what I remember from your show, and I contribute to a conversation. So I do thank you very much.
Well, thank you, and God bless you.
You too. Have a good day.
And don't forget.
It puts the lotion in the basket.
See ya.
Thanks.
Bye. Well, there you go. There's a nice lady with a sense of humor that didn't sound all uptight about this. Why is it that the right-wingers are so all goddamn uptight, you know? You can hear the stress in their voice and the strain. Maybe now that the shoe is on the other foot, maybe that's why they're so stressed out. Oh, you know that Cokie Roberts, her father is that raving liberal. Yeah, and so what about it? She's still a piece of crap. Next, they're going to be picking on poor liberal David Brinkley. That's eyes are falling out of his head. Leave him alone, okay? He's busy doing those phony spots for that, whatever that thing is. What is it? Where they just got sued for all that deceptive advertising and the food. He does those spots for that. What's the name of that thing that sponsored that show for 100 years? ABC This Morning, the David Brinkley Show. He does the spots about all those starving people and about how they're putting that crappy make-believe food together. You know what I'm talking about. Archer Daniels Midland. Thank God I got a great mind, huh? ADM. A little slow, but sooner or later it comes back in there, you know? 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line.
Oh, it's the good guys and the bad guys.
See, that's the kind of world that some of you people live in, and it's so pathetic. It's so sad. It's so tragic. That's why that kind of radio, by the way, went in the toilet. The only people who are still glued to that garbage are the right-wing nuts. That's why the only folks you got on here doing that are Lard-ass Limbaugh and Gordon Liddy and Ollie North and all those right-wing fascist bastards. That's it, because there is nobody else with a brain that would listen. Well, it's a waste of time. Who the hell cares? We good, they bad, you know? I mean, we know that some of our sponsors are great, like Sofa King, you know? Sofa King good, but they bad. Here's a mobile in South Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Great.
Neil, you mentioned something earlier about like the Republicans and who they're putting, who they have to run. and how mediocre the field is.
I didn't say the Republicans. I said all of them, sir.
Oh, well, that's true too. And I mean, I as far back as when
they
Dole
all
was
suck.
running, huh?
They all suck.
Yeah, they do. But what do you? The one guy they haven't talked about, I guess, because he didn't do the that Iowa stupid poll thing, was John McCain. What do you think of him? I mean, I know he's a Republican.
Yeah.
I know he's a Republican, but I mean, of all the people that in the race, I mean, don't you think he's in the Republicans? I mean, don't you think he's like, he's
Yeah, he never stole a freight train. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
I mean,
weak.
he seems,
Very weak.
but of course,
Too many appearances.
they-
Too many appearances on the Ima show. That's his biggest negative.
oh, I didn't know. I don't.
Oh yeah, always on there with a dead man. Not good.
Is that the guy with the cowboy hat? He's
Yeah,
really
the guy
lame.
that's always bought the farm and tells you about it. Yeah.
Okay, well, Neil, I'm out of material. I
Just remember, pal, they all suck.
Yep.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
567. See, it's fashionable to say, "Oh, that John McCain, he's great." Well, what does he stand for? Well, we don't know. See, maybe this is a blessing, this Coke diversion for George W. You know, because instead of having to answer the questions about the issues, which so far basically he never really does, he's kind of like a beefo, you know, Jeff DeForest. He's riding the fence. He's got those Texas chaps on it. He's wearing. Well, yeah, you know, prevents a lot of chafing there. That's his answer, whatever the issue is. Well, except of course for abortion, he's big on that, big on the right to life crap. Kind of an anti-human kind of guy. Exactly what they want. You know, good religious fanatic. Not quite as religious fanatic as Pat Buchanan or Gary Bauer, of course, but almost. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in Stewart. Hello.
Neil, good morning.
Yes, sir.
You may wish to remind your George Bush fans that Newsweek, led by their star investigative reporter Mike Isikoff, is the very
They're the ones that
publication
started
that
the
wrote
whole
the Monica
Penis
Lewinsky
case.
story.
Very good point, sir. They're the ones that started the whole impeachment thing against Clinton. Excellent point. How soon they
Secondly,
forget.
the previous caller mentioned that a Texas reporter had first raised the question of cocaine use, but it was a month ago at a forum, I think it was in Iowa. All 9 Republican presidential candidates were on the stage, and a reporter asked the question, have any of you ever used cocaine? 8 unhesitatingly answered no. Only Bush refused to answer the question.
Mm-hmm.
So either the other 8 are wrong, that this question is not appropriate, or Mr. Bush stands alone. One last thing. Cokie Roberts is not a liberal. She's an idiot.
Exactly. Very well put. Okay, thank you. She's an airhead. She's a bubblehead. She's a cokehead. Excellent, sir. Couldn't have put it better myself. 567-0560, pound 560 on the 18. I'll tell you one thing, that the right-wingers, I don't want to lump all conservatives as being right-wingers because they're not, but the real right-wingers, you know the ones I'm talking about, the ones that see a liberal boogeyman under every rock. One thing they have in common, paranoia. Oh, yeah. One world government, the Trilateral Commission, the Illuminati. Thank God I don't do that kind of radio anymore. Thank the Lord for that. How come I'm doing that today? I don't know. Just because I felt like it, because I read that thing in Newsweek about George W. In addition to which, if he's supposed to be, if he's, looking for the support of the evangelical right, then, he's got to fess up, because they always forgive the sinner if he comes clean. That's it. Come clean. Admit it. You're past indiscretions, but don't lie about it. Don't stonewall, then they get pissed off, I mean, if they even forgave Jim Baker and Jimmy Swaggart for crying out loud, what's a little blow going to do, Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Part of the problem is, I think, I don't know if you agree with me here, is that we got too many dummies here that can't comprehend more than a corrupt two-party monopolized system. that we have.
That's right. Absolutely correct.
Right now, all we have is a choice. We don't have a free choice. And
Got a crappy choice. It always comes down to a horrendous choice.
yeah, if we had any intelligence in this country, we'd have a plethora of strong parties. But we have we have these two. We have the Demopublicans.
Right.
And it's
we have
sad.
a plethora of stupidity. Right.
And one other thing, as far as the real corrupt Bush, it's the one out in Colorado. That's
Neil.
Herbert Bush.
Oh, Herbert?
He's the one that.
What about Neil?
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
I
it's
like that
one
name.
of
I'm
them.
sorry.
I don't think it's your namesake, but I think it's Herbert. But he took out a small business loan when his old man was president in '89 for $750,000.
Yeah.
With no intention of starting a business.
Only $50.
As soon as he took out the loan, he went belly up.
Mm-hmm.
He only had to pay back 20% of that loan.
I thought that was Neil Bush.
Then okay, I get my names.
No, I understand you don't want to, that name, generally connotes something
Neil, God!
a little better, I know.
Yeah, but Anyway, Neil, thanks a lot. Keep up the good work.
And God bless you, sir, and have a great life. And 50,000 years from now, who's going to give a crap about all this? I say Elizabeth Dole. That's my perfect Republican candidate for the year 2000, Liddy Dole. She's perfect. Yeah. Let's hook her up with, let's say, Tom Selleck for vice president. That would be good. Kenneth Masmacho in that pairing, huh? 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless. He gets so upset about that, poor Tom Selleck. If that's the case, how come he played the fag in that movie? What was that movie he was in where he played the cowboy fag, whatever the hell he was? It was just a few months ago. And it was a gigantic bomb, too, by the way. Not the bomb, it was a bomb. All you kids out there, you know the difference between a bomb and the bomb, as in, that's it. How come you got a question mark on line one? I'm always fascinated by those. Hello, Hollywood.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay, sir.
Well, you know, Jeb and George, I don't know about those guys, but Harry's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I don't know.
I got it. I'm just moving along, you know.
I don't know if you've talked about this, but American Airlines, did you hear about the news today?
No, you're not going to tell me that 58 employees got arrested at Miami International Airport, are you? Or actually, they were arrested at home.
Yeah, I've probably been the number 100. I just turned on.
No, I saw it first thing out of the box this morning because I actually watched the news. Unlike most of these people out there that are reading the funny papers, I actually watched the news. Yeah.
Well, now you know why your plane was delayed Sunday. They had to wait for the package.
That's exactly my impression. That's why all the American flights are late because they have to scope out to get just the right bags, and then of course they got to have a rip snorting time there in between, unloading and offloading and inloading, whatever they're loading. You know what I'm saying?
And why please the customers when that's not your main function
that's
anyway?
Right.
You know, you're making your money through the
thank
back
God
door.
They're doing something good over there anyway. They're doing something constructive.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Neil.
And have a great day. And goodbye to American Airlines forever. Okay, you're through. You're done. And the best part of it is they don't care. They don't give a crap. Last 2 days, got a bunch of wise guys from over there calling. I mean, we did have a few American employees who, called in and apologized and feel very bad and admit that they work for a crappy company and they're pretty embarrassed about it. And there are a lot of, I'm very careful to point that out because I know there are a lot of folks who do work over there who work very hard and are conscientious and try to do the best they can. And I feel sorry for them because they work for a really crappy outfit that doesn't give a crap about the public or doing the kind of job that we expect them to do when you're paying through the nose. I shouldn't have said through the nose. Yeah. When you fly American, it's going through the nose and your money too. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. It's 11:56 here at QAM. We're waiting on pins and needles. I'm on the edge of my chair. We got Orlando Alzagiri out there. We got Josh Friedman. We got the Gantzamer Spochel sitting down there at the courthouse waiting for the verdict in the Tony Martin trial, in the drug money laundering trial. We're waiting. Have we got the verdict yet? No, but we're waiting on it. And the moment that we got it, you'll have it. And why you're so excited about it, I have no idea. I hope, I'm not going to say that again. They get all over me when I say that. I don't know. I don't know if he did it or he didn't do it, or if he's really just that stupid, And in this one particular case, I think compared to all these other scumbags, Tony Martin ain't that bad of a guy. He never stole a freight train, okay? Maybe he's just a little naive, a little bit dumb. You think he's a little...
No.
Well, whatever. 4 minutes before noon at 560 WQAM. We can hope. We can hope he's that dumb.
Hello, citizens. This is Batman. You know, even though I'm a fictional character, the Y2K problem is real. In other words, I may be from the comics, but there's nothing funny about Y2K. So, what can you do, John and Jane Citizen? Panic. That's right. If you have the time right now, run out into the streets and scream your head off like a little girl, yelling, Y2K, why me? Oh, I'm so scared. You don't think Batman's coming to your rescue, do you? Ha! I can tell you now, stock up on canned goods, then withdraw all your cash from the bank and bury it in the backyard. But be careful if you have a canine friend, then sell your computer. It'll be about as useful as the bat signal at noon. You might as well get some money out of it now so you can buy a generator and lots of gasoline. But don't store the gas in empty plastic milk containers or some unsuspecting moron like Robin might suck it down thinking it's iced tea. Then you gotta get his stomach pumped by rushing to the emergency room, and you don't want to do it in costume because people tend to laugh at Batman when he's not on the silver screen fighting crime. And they always tease Robin because his outfit is so gay. But I digress. This is Batman. When it comes to Y2K, don't be a joker.
Yeah, we're so tight, too, you know. It's 12:02 at 560 WQAM. By the way, I hate to remind you, that Strom Thurmond was once a Democrat. Oh, I'm sorry. But you guys can have him now. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Mobile One line. See, I think everybody out there should get real panicky now. You know, run to the store, start buying up a lot of water, canned goods, batteries, flashlights, lumber. Go to Home Depot, go to Publix, go to Winn-Dixie. Buy out everything they got. Don't leave any for anybody else. Just buy up everything they got. Go into a panic. They're showing that on the news again last night. I mean, we got, you know, those 3 storms out there. And even Brian Norcross, even Miss Norcross is saying, it's not going to hit here. We don't really have to worry about it. And when she says it's not going to hit here and you don't have to get all that nervous, that means just cool it a little bit. You know, start, you know, making some plans, get a few things here and there. But that doesn't mean you got to take 10 shopping carts and fill it up with all the bottled water they got in the store and go into a deep panic, you know? Not that we want to get you nervous, but... The sky is falling. Man, crazy people. See, there's no such thing as moderation. It's either just go absolutely nuts or be oblivious and just sit back and do that. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Mobile One line. Here's Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing today?
Okay.
Okay, I have to agree with just about everything you said about Democrats and Republicans and how they stink and all that, and you're doing a good service to the community. However, I have to disagree with what you said yesterday.
About?
Jennifer Lopez.
Oh.
Being the Cuban guy that I am.
Being the Cuban guy that you are, you should beware those Puerto Ricans, man. They'll get you every time.
But I like that behind, man. I'm telling you, that will do it anytime.
That's right. I forgot about that. You like that big
rectum.
I forgot.
Absolutely. I'm sorry to say that, but that's one thing that you don't get it right, Neil. I'm sorry to say.
I don't get it and I don't want it. You're right.
Well, you know,
it's all yours.
The thing is that Neil, she looks fantastic, especially when she goes, better than when she comes. I mean, he's unbelievable. I will look at that.
She looks better from the ass end.
Rectum.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I will look at that for the next 20 years.
Okay.
Okay?
Good luck, pal.
Take care.
Okay, most of the other guys say, we'll take Brittany and you can have Jennifer anytime you want. You can have that big ass. In fact, what we'll do is just cut the ass off for you and send the ass to your house, and then we'll take, what's her name, Mariah Carey, and we'll just take that one gigantic breast that she's got, because the other one's kind of like a raisin, you know? And we'll chop that off, and what we'll do is send you a bunch of body parts. Like body,
we could have like a Mr. Potato Head.
Like body augmentation, you know, we'll just send you a bunch of body parts, and you stick them wherever you like, so to speak. That's right, it's Global Groove on MTV right now, but why do they keep, so many marginal, when they find the ugly people on it, they leave them on for a long, especially the darker ones. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. I mean, there's a lot of good-looking darker people, but not on that show. I'll tell you who ain't a bad-looking guy, by the way. I shouldn't say it. Puff Daddy. He's not a bad-looking guy, huh? I don't think I would. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Mobile One line. Well, just to, and he ain't light-complected like Malcolm on The Young and the Horny. They can't all be that light, because otherwise then there'd be no dark people. And then how can we tell the Cubans apart? Here's a mobile in Cooper City. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Neil, you got to understand, it's been a slow hurricane season up until the end of August, and it's the lead story on every local newscast the last several days. They got to jump on it.
Well, the only thing we got going here now, we got the Tony Martin trial, and we got the storms. In fact, what do they call it? Trouble in the Tropics. You know how Channel 7 always has some hysterical headline for every story? Trouble in the Tropics. I was surprised they didn't call it Terror in the Tropics.
I thought they were talking about the Tony Martin story when I saw that.
No, they were talking about the American Airlines story. They just didn't realize it yet.
Neil, all these conservatives, the very right wingers who call into you, I think that they're so brainwashed and they're so upset that their agenda might be shaking. They think that they're gonna get their Christian value leader into the White House and everything in this country will be fine. And I think it shakes them up when something happens and they can't realize that people are people and everybody's made mistakes.
Yeah.
And that's why they sound so damn paranoid about it. And, so much for Campaign 2000. It's going to be another boring and ponderous year and a half.
It's going to put you into a deep sleep, man.
I can't stand it. But Neil, I'm not ripping a sponsor. Don't hang up on me. But you run a Buick Buick Century commercial.
Yeah.
And the wife in there said,
what is it? What just happened to this guy? What just happened to him? We run a Buick Century commercial, and I didn't even get the last part, and he just, that was it. I don't know what he said. Bizarre.
Wasn't me.
No, we didn't touch it, so whatever you were going to say, 567-0560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. That was incredible. Here's a lady in Boynton Beach. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, ma'am.
I wanted to tell you, I heard this on CNN twice now.
Well, that makes it...
it's the truth.
Famous.
In this case, I hope it is. CIA applicants must take a lie detector test.
Yeah.
And if they admit, but if the test shows that they've smoked marijuana, they go on with the test, they ignore it. But if the test shows that they have used cocaine,
right,
the test is dropped immediately and they're no longer considered.
Right, absolutely correct.
So I think all of these people that are taking it lightly, where a future president is concerned, they ought to stop and think. I mean, we can't even get someone into the CIA with it.
Amen.
Okay, thank you much.
Tell
Bye.
George to take a powder.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. A BC powder. 1208 at 560 WQM, 5670560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. Tony Martin, verdict in yet?
No.
The town is hinging on it.
No.
Linda Robertson, she's still a dumb bitch, by the way. I don't want to sound sexist, okay, but women should not be writing about men's sports. Let her write about the WNBA. Let her write about women's soccer. Let her write about the taffy pull, badminton, something like that. But cut the crap. We don't need that because it doesn't work. Just like Jane Chastain, remember her? And Phyllis George and all of those people. Forget it. It doesn't cut it. It doesn't cut the mustard, baby. Just stick to something you know about, which is not football. Okay, Linda? You silly person, you very, very silly, supercilious imbecile. And by the way, you, the Herald, and Barry Jackass, a perfect trifecta. A match made in purgatory by a plethora of silly people. I'm sorry. 1209 at 560 WQM. Hey.
It puts the lotion in the basket.
All right.
Hey Tim, don't you move too fast. You've got to pay us for that. That's just skipping down to death row. They'll execute you 'cause you are guilty. Da 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 da. You're so guilty. Da 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 da. You're so guilty. You're worse than Charlie Manson, and Menendez brothers, and O.J. Simpson. Just wait for your last meal. Hope it's a good one, 'cause you are guilty. Da 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 da. You're so guilty. Da 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 da. You're so guilty.
1214 at 560 WQM. QM invites you to be part of the About.com WQM Celebrity Golf Tournament by reserving your spot or a foursome to play with celebrities like Al Downing, Pedro Guerrero, Spud Webb, Dwight Stevenson, and many more by calling 305-650-0163. Sponsored by Nextel, the Barbecue Superstore, Barron's Menswear, and Security World International. Spud Webb? Anybody know who that is? Okay, our topic today, building the perfect body. We got Jennifer Lopez's
rectum,
ass, Britney Spears' boobs, whether they're real or not. Whose head do we put on there? How about? Well, no, I take that back. The Doritos girl's boobs with Britney Spears' head. Huh? Now you're starting to work on it.
I'll just take the Dorito girl.
And as far as the guys are concerned, we'll take, and what's his name, Barry Watson, is that what it is? We'll put his head on Nick from 98 Degrees on his body. And whose do we attach to it? 567, no, not John Holmes. See, these size queens, man, that bothers me tremendously. People who don't care whether it's breast or the male member. They don't care what they're attached to as long as they're gigantic, elephantine, humongous. I don't understand that at all. Here's our guy that got kidnapped by the Buick dealer.
Hi, Neil.
What happened?
God, your phone system blows.
Oh, it does. It's the worst.
It wasn't me. But anyway, I don't know.
I think they got an automatic chip in our phone system, and if you say something that might sound like something they don't want on the air, it automatically blocks the rest of your call.
It read my mind pertaining to Bill Zimfer, and the woman on that commercial laughed. She cackled just like Bill Zimfer, just like that, Neil. You got to listen to it.
Yeah.
And that's all I got. But as far as the Doritos girl, what's wrong with her by herself?
Yeah, all by herself. You're right. Good point.
Cool, Todd. Get off the phone and go to work.
Okay.
Thank you, Neil.
See ya. Yeah, the Doritos girl who's in the 98 Degrees video, so there's something for everybody in there, believe me, especially when Jeff and Nick are like practically stark naked. And then, of course, when the albino says, bathtub, you know, for a little comic relief. And
Ali
Screech.
Landry.
And what is it?
Ali Landry.
That's her name?
Former Miss America or Miss USA.
Is she related to Tom Landry by any chance?
Let's
Or you
hope
wouldn't know
not.
who that is? Oh, how grotesque. Like I said, let's take his head off and put somebody else's head on it. 5670560, pound 560 on a Mobile One line. I don't want to sound racist or nothing, okay, but why do we have to see all these ugly, dark-complected people? If you're going to put dark-complected people, put some good-looking ones on there. How would that be, huh? Just for... No, they don't want to do that yet? God. Here's a mobile in Boca. Hello.
Yeah, how you doing?
Pretty good, sir.
I was wondering about what's your position on the initiative
Clone.
California's taking on the gun issue?
My position on what?
The gun issue that California's taking to close that gun show down, the Great Western Gun Show, the biggest one out west.
Yes, sir. They closed down. They had
Is that a beautiful
30 or
thing or what?
35,000. What is it?
It's great. I'm about
They have 30 or 35,000 people who ordinarily attend that thing, and Los Angeles County Supervisor said by a 3-2 vote, they said, no way, Jose, we're closing it down. You're not going to hold it. I say hallelujah.
They're stepping right to the NRA there. And
Right,
jumping
they're
right for
sticking it to him. And Charlton, we understand, ain't too happy.
You son of a bitch.
Too bad.
Too bad is right.
He's crying in his beer.
I just want to say that I wouldn't kick Jennifer Lopez out of bed for eating crackers or anything, and I'd like to give out a douchebag to someone. Is that
Yeah.
all right with you?
Go ahead.
Kevin, you're a douchebag.
Okay,
Thank
pal.
you very much, Bill. You're doing a good job.
Yes, I am. Thank you. 5670560, pound 560 on the Mobile One line as we continue searching for the perfect time killer until we get that Tony Martin verdict. I guess they probably won't give a verdict until after 2, you know, when Mandich is on from Shula's. Well, we don't want to have it during a non-sport show. That would be no fun. And then Barry Jackass will get all upset. Like he got upset a couple of, you know, when we first were on the air, we wouldn't interrupt to put that stupid goddamn Jimmy Johnson press conference on the air or whatever the hell it was. And Barry Jackass got all upset. Barry Jackass, who, by the way, has never written word one since he was so skeptical about putting me on his radio station, on an all-sports radio station, never written word one about the fact that this is the highest-rated show by far on his radio station, month in and month out, book in and book out. Never written a word about that, have you, Barry?
No.
Just like Tom Jicha never wrote a word about the spring rating book or about the goddamn FCC fine or anything else that has to do with something going on in this town. Because the quality, like I've told you before, you can't complain about the journalism in this town because generally speaking, there isn't any. Once in a great while, by accident, either Fred Grimm or somebody will write a column that's pretty good, and I'll read it on the air, Carl Hyacin, when he stops writing about manatees and crawling things in the Everglades. But that's a rarity. That's a real rare occasion when that happens. More often than not, you got the swill, like Linda Robertson's thing this morning about Danny Boy, how he embarrassed himself. The only one who embarrassed themselves this morning was you, Linda, and your cohorts there at the Herald. We would say fish wrapper, but that would be... Well, they're just obsessed today with them, aren't they? They're just psychotic. 5670560, pound 560 on the Mobile One line. See, I've graduated. I mean, I still like them, but I'm moving on to 98 Degrees, and I do. That's the greatest. That video, the song, the video, everything. And even you like the video, even though you don't like them and you don't like the song, but nevertheless, too bad. Just get on your knees and thank them for making that video.
Song
there you go.
The video.
It's a great song. 5670560, pound 560 on the Mobile One line. And we got to have somebody call in and tell us Nick's last name again from 98 Degrees. Because it began with a T, like who's with a T? Somebody will call. Why don't they tell you? You know, if you're going to put out an album, you know, why not tell us your last name would be a good idea. Here's Kendall. Hello. Kendall.
Hello, Mr.
Yeah,
Rod.
yeah, I really am. 5670560, pound 560 on a Mobile One line. I really am such a F, whatever he said. What did he say? Something with an F. Here's Miami Lakes. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Neil.
Speaking.
Yeah, first I want to tell you, great show, man.
Uh-huh.
And
how did I know? 5670560, pound 560 on a Mobile One line. 2 in a row. Your people, by the way, again. They're just out of control. Like I said yesterday at the end of the show, it's like somebody flushed a gigantic toilet in the Caribbean. And every turd from the Caribbean just floated up on the shores of South Florida. And they all listen to the Neil Rogers show, too, by the way. Here's Miami. Hello.
Uncle Neil. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Uncle Neil, then.
Is this another phony voice? 3 in a row, huh? Trifecta time. I didn't know the track was open this early. 5670560, pound 560 on a Mobile One line. Julio's rattling their spears again today. They can't cope with it. Here's Coral Springs. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
First time I've ever been inspired to call a talk show.
Yes,
so
sir.
I listen all the time.
Uh-huh.
Did you ever hear, I don't know anything about George Bush's
About
use
his
of
Bush,
drugs,
yeah.
but did you ever hear of a guy by the name of Dan Lassiter?
Dan Lassiter?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Dan Lassiter was one of Bill Clinton's best friends, if not his best friend.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I had reason to make his acquaintance when we were both thoroughbred owners up in New York some years ago in the mid '70s. He brought some horses up from down below.
Yeah.
Anyway, he I know was later convicted of cocaine smuggling and did some time.
Yeah.
And on occasion he would drop Clinton's name, and I don't think he was a name dropper because everybody knew he knew important people.
Yeah.
And he made reference on several occasions to his using blow with Clinton, and at the time I didn't even know who he was. Then he told me, he's the governor of Arkansas.
Clinton blows, yeah.
And then I said, well, he's the guy who made the speech at the convention. Then I remembered who he was, And he made reference on several occasions that he used drugs with Clinton.
Yeah.
So I believe that story. I'm 99%. I didn't see it, but I'm 99% sure it was true.
And so what's the significance of that?
Nothing, only that it's his latest lie that he never used cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Does that have any relevance to George W.?
No, not really. I don't care one way or the other who does what.
Oh, okay.
Just that what's true, I
what's
think it's
true is true.
Right.
What's good for the goose
is good for the gander.
Exactly. Thank you.
Okay.
Whatever he said. In other words, he doesn't really care. 5670560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. Here's a mobile in Boca. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
It was so funny. George picked up the phone and I let a big cheesy blaster go. I didn't know he was picking up the phone right in his ear. It was funny. Listen, I saw a movie last night on TV with Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah.
What a dog. Oh, my God.
Yeah, she's grotesque.
Oh, my God.
But she's got a big ass. The Cubans are into big ass.
They
don't care what it's
love
connected
that.
to. That's it.
Mamita with the grande culo.
Right. Now you got
Neil,
it.
also, yesterday you were talking about going to Vegas and the candies. The best
FLM.
candies in the world, not Farmer's Fanny.
FLM.
No.
No.
See's chocolate.
Who?
SEE. Sees. They're
Never
in
heard of it.
California. Oh, they're in California and Nevada. The only two states that have them.
They're in Nevada?
They make them fresh daily. Yeah, they're in Nevada and California. You can get them in. You can get them in Reno. You can get them in Vegas. You have to go to the malls. Sees. It's an old lady. There's old lady's recipes for candies.
It's an old lady?
Well, that's her face is on the boxes. Her name is Old Lady
Her pussy's
Seas.
on her, I see.
The best. Seas. When you go out to Vegas, ask for Seas chocolate. It blows Fanny's Farmer.
But forget about it. I was being sarcastic about Farmer's Fanny. I was FLM is the good one in Vegas. But I'll look for C's next time.
Seas, the best.
Okay.
Neil, can I call someone a douchebag?
Yes, sir.
Tom at Miller Construction, you're a big cheesy douchebag.
Okay, see ya.
Bye.
5670560. Of course, that's what Jazz McKay used to say too, and look what happened to him. You know what I'm saying? Jazz McKay? Yeah. See ya. Don't see him no more. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Let me say it again. Are we ever, I would say, I'm trying to think back over these 23 years, maybe about eight calls that come to mind from Julio's. And of course, we don't, check, are they Cuban, Puerto Rican, Mexican? I think they're probably from Guatemala.
Guatemala.
Yeah. The Nicaragua. Oh, I'm sorry, Nicaragua. I can't say it right. Like Isabel de Quesada. But 8 calls that really were like contributions to the show that were either informative or amusing or entertaining, something like that. Other than that, when you consider we've got, 72 million Hispanics down here in South Florida, it's very depressing and embarrassing, I would think, to all of us, that the contribution level is so minimal. The fact that there are so many of these people out there listening, that's a start. That's a good start. But actually to have something to say, that really, there is where the test comes in. Maybe they were Venezuelan. Maybe they were Colombian, huh?
Oh!
All my Colombian friends, baby. And they all tell me, don't go to Colombia because if you don't go, don't be planning on coming back. Don't pack too much stuff with you. Don't take a lot of luggage because it'll be a one-way journey. 1226 at 560 WQM. We're still waiting on that verdict. Did we get the verdict yet?
No.
On the Tony Martin trial?
No.
What are they waiting for? What are they deliberating and waiting?
No.
Come on, let them off and let them play. And I don't even care about the Dolphins anymore or the NFL, to be honest with you. Let them alone. He never stole a freight train. He's not a bad guy. That's what Danny Boy said. Just to piss Linda Robertson off, let him out. Right now. Suit him up. Let's have Joe Zagacki do the interview. 26 past noon at 560 WQAM. You
Can't beat that gator meat.
Well, she got no place to stay, and she put up with it one night stand now. Then she forgot all about the whiskey, said the subject is beat down. And now she's in New York City, cause Hillary wants her own Senate seat now. And she will run, 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 till the voters tell her to go away. Well, she thought all along that his star was getting wise to her now. Now she acted so nice, and since she made her this was fine, she was thinking her career was all through now. But now she's gone to New York City, cause she's looking for some folks to go now. Now you shouldn't and she will run, 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 till the voters tell her to go away. Yeah, she will run, 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 till the voters tell her to go away.
1232 at 560 WQAM, 5670560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. Our challenge today in the last hour and a half of today's show, let's hear from one or two Julios. I mean, that's a start. Who actually have something to say about anything. Do you think that's possible?
No.
Huh?
And it's a bad idea.
What do you mean by that? No, I think it's a great idea. It's a challenge. Are they up to the challenge?
No.
It's the 64-cent challenge.
No.
5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Here's North Miami Beach. Hello.
Hi, Neil. How you doing?
Okay, sir.
Dolphin haters actually may get their way because if the jury reads anything like any other juries they've seen, 8.5 hours of deliberation.
Yeah, don't look too good, does it?
No, it's what they're probably trying to do is figure out a way to either come to a compromise verdict to try to get maybe Tony on the lesser charges, and I'm figuring the other guy is already dead to rights from what I've been able to read.
Right.
But it looks like they're just going to try to figure out a way to justify whatever decision they come up with, because juries don't sit out this long if they're looking to make a guy look not guilty.
Right.
They either buy the defense or they don't.
Yeah, but what happened? What if we get a hung jury?
Very good possibility. You may have a couple of Dolphin fans in there who are holdouts who were swayed by what was an obvious play by the defense, which, by the way, was the right thing to do. I mean,
sure.
that's what you do.
Why the hell not?
You've got a public figure. You got to play every card you got.
Right.
Especially since your guy's not terribly articulate and can't really explain how it is he washed out $250,000.
Yeah, and maybe he was just that stupid. You know, I mean, after all, he's a pro football player.
Well, yeah and no, but don't forget he had a phalanx of business advisors around him.
Yeah.
And the most damaging testimony apparently came from one of the advisors who quit and said, "Hey, man, I'm not gonna dirty myself with this stuff. You know what's going on."
Mm-hmm.
At which point, I guess Martin supposedly said, "Well, I don't want to know. Don't tell me." Now,
ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, but it's not really. Hey, listen, real quickly on another issue. While you're building the perfect woman, don't have any suggestions, but on another topic, you may be able to build the worst talk show host. You know, take somebody's voice, somebody's laugh, somebody's
laugh. Yeah, I think we got that one.
There you go.
Okay, thanks.
Later.
See ya. That's an excellent idea. 5670560. Of course, I guess we got we already have him beat to that, didn't we? We had the worst talk show host all in one body the other night.
Joe's the guy.
Yeah, I think that's the one. The worst lips, the worst voice, the worst personality, the worst, you name it. That's him. Here's Coral Springs. Hello.
Yeah, first of all, have a great vacation.
Thank you.
You led this community again this summer.
I'll be here tomorrow. I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here tomorrow.
Okay. Secondly, the perfect female body of the current celebrity, Shania Twain. She is just perfect physically.
Yeah.
Just perfect. And the
From
perfect
the chin
Republican
down.
candidate, John McCain.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
Okay, thanks. There you go. We covered all the bases. What was that racket in the background? Huh? There was some really shaking, rattling, and rolling going on there. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Here's Lauderhill. Hello. With a question mark.
Yeah, I know you said Prison Bitch was in the archives, but I still never heard it, and I really like if you played it.
Okay. Well, why do you sound so defensive about it?
I don't know. I listen to your show all the time.
Right.
And I never get lucky.
But you got lucky today, pal.
All right, thanks a lot.
It's coming any second.
Thanks.
And the Prison Bitch, too. Okay, 5670560. I'm in a good mood today. I mean, we're actually doing a show here, somewhat. We don't have some people hanging around in here. We get rid of that chair, by the way? Oh, it's sitting right in here. Good. I guess that means Jason can't come in here and eat anymore, too, right?
Uh-huh.
No, not that we want any of these people to take it personally or anything, but it's just that this isn't the Christian Science reading room or lunchroom or any of those things. And it's just a breath of fresh air. I feel like we've been let off of death row for a day or two. Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Mr. Rogers.
Speaking.
How are you doing, sir?
Okay.
A question. You're talking about politics and about the, who's up
Who's
for
on
election.
first, yeah.
Okay. How come in a country with 270 million people,
Right.
they only give you the choice of two political parties?
Isn't that sad?
I'm from the country where you go down very often, Holland.
Uh-huh.
15 million people, same population as Florida, and the last election we had 6 political parties.
How do you like that?
So we have the choice. We have
Right.
the Greens, we have the
But
Socialists.
you also have the best education system in the world.
Happy.
You know,
Hallelujah, sir.
That's what I read.
But it's the truth.
The kids in Amsterdam have the best test scores of any country.
Not only Amsterdam, the whole of Holland.
Well,
And
that's what I mean.
it has been like that for the last 100 years. So
Right.
it's, it's a country with history. It's a country with freedom. We're talking about freedoms here in the U.S. But,
Right. Well, we don't have any freedoms in the U.S.
if they only give you 2 choices, and I think it's a shame that in a country with 270 million people, they can't find 1 or 2 guys that would have who will represent the majority of the population, and everybody will agree with that. But with a 2 political party system, forget it, sir.
Hopeless.
Try to get a Dutch nationality, and you can vote next election in Holland.
Okay, sounds good to me.
2002. Okay.
I'll be there.
Thank you,
Bell.
sir. Bye-bye.
Okay. I'll be there. 567-0560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. As we continue rolling along, singing a song, knocking those days off on the calendar, marking off those big marks, marky marks. Nothing like it, man. Hey, I'll tell you what else there's nothing like, a great stogie in your mouth. And if you're under a lot of stress, or if you're really worried about the Tony Martin verdict, if you're worried that you're going to lose your bets on the goddamn ball games, all these other things, just pop a great stogie from Nick Cigars in your mouth, light it up, and puff away. And all of a sudden, all your problems will just kind of like go up in smoke. That's what they say at that airline, I don't want to mention which name. All your problems will go up in smoke, sometimes in the cabin.
How you airing shit like this?
No.
Don't tell me you stuff. You wonder why. Please tell me there's no chance. Your boobs are big and flat. Tell me they're natural and not just silicone. Babe, I'm looking at your sweater and there's something getting inside. Yeah, baby. Kind of moving around, bouncing up and down. Just promise them, baby, that they didn't come from now. No, they didn't. Are they a forgery? Did you get some surgery? I'll do a big cartwheel to find out that they're real. Because I don't want no plastic jobs. See, I don't mean to be a slob, but did you get a boob job? I don't mean to be rude. I wanna see your boobs. Please, I wanna.
Okay, so Jason says he'll take the rest of Jennifer Lopez. The other guy can have her.
Rectum.
He'll take the rest, which, to each its own. Not everybody can have good taste. Dania mom, teacher gave son drugs and booze. The Dania Beach mother complained to Hollywood police Tuesday that a Broward school teacher accused of having an 18-month sexual affair with a former student gave her son the prescription drug Xanax.
Oi!
The mother, Brenda Del Valle, 42, also said her 17-year-old son accompanied Beth Friedman and another teenage boy on a weekend fishing trip in which the other youth had sex with Friedman, and both boys were given alcohol and drugs.
Oh!
How do you like that? Huh? As the story. Yeah, I was trying to give her the benefit of the doubt the other day, which she deserves, before we fry her ass, but she's getting into it a little bit deeper, and it ain't looking too good. You know what I'm saying? You follow what?
Uh-huh.
Not looking too good. Because all you guys out there, all the young guys and all the older guys wish that they were young again so they could have teachers like this. But guess what? Sorry, it's not acceptable.
Well, a little better looking.
Well, she's 40 years old now.
There's good-looking 40-year-olds.
How about if maybe she was 35?
I think she'd still be ugly, judging from the picture.
Here's a Julio in South Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I'm a Julio, and I do have something to say, and I can't believe you haven't mentioned it about the cursing canoer. You didn't hear about that?
No.
It was on the news last night. I don't know if it was any of the papers. This guy was riding his canoe up in Deerfield or Dania, somewhere around there, and he falls off his canoe, so he starts cursing up a storm. Meanwhile, there's an off-duty stormtrooper who hears him and gives him a citation for cursing.
This sounds like the story we had in Michigan about 2 months ago.
Well, this was here in Florida. I just saw it on the news last night.
Yeah.
So the guy's cursing. He gets a citation. So he takes it to court because he figures, it's BS, right? So he gets to court. He gets a fine and 4 days of community service cleaning up the river where he was canoeing.
Uh-huh.
If there's any question of the reason why this country is in the shape it is, because all the time and effort for some guy who said a couple curse words.
Please don't say the F word.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, 5670560. You see what I mean? It's hopeless. I laid the challenge down there. What?
Told you it was a bad idea.
No, it's a good idea because it puts the spotlight out there. They just can't do it. They cannot do it. 5670560 pound 560 on a mobile one line. Seldom in the history of mankind has a gigantic number of people from any general area, I'm not saying all one country, but any general geographical area of the world, come to one land and contributed so little to a radio show. Here's Miami. Hello. I guess I didn't need to a radio show, that part. Hello. Miami. Somebody's diddling in the back. Yeah, okay. They couldn't do it either. Another one of your people. Why is he opening the door in there again? Okay, don't open the door again, Jason.
He's getting a menu.
Get out of here. Here's a mobile in Palm Beach. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I'm a Julio, but I was born and raised in America, so I don't know if that counts. Does it count?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, I got.
At this point, anything might count.
I got some things I can talk to you about. I'm a long-time listener. I used to listen to you when I was a kid in the late 70s with my dad on AM radio on my way to school. He used to laugh our butts off. But the reason why the old people are all down here is because if they go anywhere else, they're going to die. They'll kill you. They'll kill you in any other hospital, anywhere else in the United States, just about.
Yeah.
I got a dad. He's got good, healthy Jewish doctors down here in Miami, and he moves up north. And I don't know what it is, but up there, all there are is camel jockeys for doctors. And they just about killed him up there. So, I don't know what's going on with all that. What happened to the good American names like Goldstein or Bloomberg? I've got Rasha and Sarah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I hope he's over those now.
It's all about my age, about 25,
Yeah.
They're all doctors, heart surgeons.
Mm-hmm.
One guy looks like the guy that I just see him in the
Well, I got
doctor's
tired of
office.
driving those cabs. It gets a little old.
I'm looking at his heart surgeon. I'm talking to him, and I could have sworn I went to the 7-Eleven around the corner, and he sold me a 6-pack of beer.
Okay, well, listen, amigo. Have a great day.
You too, buddy.
And good luck to you, whatever you said. What do you say? 5670560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. Here's Kendall. Hello. Kendall. 13 minutes. Yes, sir.
Yes. Hi, Neil.
Are you on a speakerphone?
Yes.
Get off the speakerphone. Pick up the instrument so we can't.
I'm sorry, sir.
That's
I'm terribly
okay.
sorry. I
Don't do it
tried
again.
to talk to you before. Anyway, I just want to contribute probably one little drop of wisdom.
Yeah.
As I'm concerned.
Yeah.
My wisdom is this. Anybody who comes from elsewhere here,
Yes.
I always say, when in Rome, do like
Do the
Romans
Romans.
do.
Mm-hmm.
People come here and they want to bring all their ballast, like they want to eat crap, so they come here and eat crap. They want to hear crap and this, that, and the other. The most successful bunch of people who have accomplished that come from down south, which is where I come from. And I believe that people should come here and kind of like try to acquire or kind of go to the flow like in the old days. The Italians came, the Ukrainians came, everybody came here, and they just went with the flow, you know.
They blow with the flow, right?
And all of us come here, the South Americans and the whatevers, the Caribbeans, and just want to try to change this. Now, the joke behind all this is what I'm going to tell you.
Yes.
Mexicans have been the servants of Americans in California and Texas and elsewhere for years, for eons. And now it is firing back. In other words, we're going to be 20-something million, a minority, which should, I, as a neutral observant person of this phenomena, should just be like a call to attention to blacks, you know, who are so jumpy and all that. 2,000 years is coming.
Blacks are
They're going to be down below the Latino people or whatever, the Jennifer Lopez.
Oh no, you're wrong. You're wrong about that. Blacks are reproducing like cockroaches just to make sure that
it's terrible. I mean, you know, we should come here and be grateful that we're here. Look, if you saw the country that I'm coming from.
Where is that? What country is that, sir?
I was born in Guatemala.
Guatemala?
Yes, I was not like a dishwasher or anything. I was a little boy, and my parents sent me here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, LSU.
Boy.
And I went there to school and whatever. That was a long time ago.
I see Jason's arm in the door.
I tried to adapt to the system.
Yeah.
Because I came here to study, and I decided to stay here.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to start bad-mouthing this country, which is the greatest country in the world.
No, it's not.
Definitely
But it beats
the
Guatemala.
power and all that. Yeah.
No, it's not. It's
and I
big.
hear all these little people, you know, that were like nothing in their countries.
Yeah.
And
Now they're
here,
big shots. That's right. Now they got a big mouth. Good point.
Totally. I mean, you have to bow down to your
Bow down
protector.
and kiss
God.
on the ring.
Totally.
Now you got it. Have a great day, pal.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye.
What do you say? 5670560. He said it very eloquently, whatever it was. And pound 560 on the mobile one line. Here's Oakland Park. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Okay.
I got an update for the Tony Martin case.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw it on CNBC on my way back from a lunch. They're going to have a continuance till Friday. What they're going to do is they're going to bring in Sammy Smith as a character witness for the defense.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so that's...
I heard they were bringing in OJ for it, and also I heard that
Roy
was going to come in.
Oh, well, OJ, he's a little busy now. You know, he's got...
I heard Mark Duper was coming in.
Duper lives over here in Coral Springs.
I heard
He's a
Mark
good guy.
Clayton's coming in.
Clayton's coming in, too. They're all
Yeah.
going to come in.
I heard they're bringing Lawrence Phillips back from the West Coast just for a couple hours, yeah.
That's true. I have a quick question
And now
for
that
you.
Demetrius is under contract, I hear he may show up.
Well, you know, he's over at the ministry right now. He'll
Yeah.
be available later.
He's over there with Reggie.
He could be. I had a quick
Trying to be
question.
white, yeah.
I got a problem. My dog. I just got this dog here, and he's scooting or something or like that. I don't
Oh,
know
he's
what to do about
scooting, huh? Gee, I wish the scooting lady were still here.
it. Could you tell me anything about that?
He needs to have his anals expressed.
Oh, really?
I'd call Anal Express or take him to the vet. Yeah, he has to have his anals expressed.
Oh, do they have a 2.5% APR on that, or what?
Yes, they do.
All right, Neil. Thanks.
Okay, good luck.
Bye.
Okay, 5670560. It's special this month only, and pound 560 on the mobile one line. Oh, the poor scooting lady. Now, did we ever discover? I'm not going to ask, because if I ask, then you know who's going to call in.
Not the same person.
Oh, okay. You know the question. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. That would be a fate worse than death, and we're doing so well. See, I should never have said that. Here's a lady in Miami Lakes. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, ma'am.
How are you?
Okay.
I have a comment for the guy from Guatemala that he said this country's the bomb. He's right. It is a bomb. Now let's talk about the Atkins diet.
Yeah.
What advice can you give me
Only
about
for
that?
48th try on this. Yes. What advice can I give you for what?
For the Atkins diet.
About what? What's the question?
Do you consider like the fajita from a taco, is that considered bread?
Of course.
Okay.
Can't have that.
Okay. No, because I lost 7 pounds and I started last Sunday.
Yeah.
So.
No fajita, sweetheart.
Okay.
Just eat the stuff out of the middle. Just use the fajita as a holder.
So just meat, cheese, and eggs?
There you go.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, Neil.
Keep it up, sweetheart.
All right, thanks.
That's your 48th try on that. 567-0560, pound 560 on a Mobile One line. The gauntlet has been laid down there for all the Julios in South Florida to contribute to our conversation we're having today. We're talking politics. We're talking Tony Martin. We're talking about this school teacher broad. We're talking about life in America. We're talking about Guatemala. We're talking about your mama. We got 42,625. What is it? 42 million. I'm sorry. Hispanics down here, and when you ask, talk about something besides to hell with Fidel, that's the response. Come on, let's get with it, okay? Let's start like the guy from Guatemala said, doing the Romans the Roman way. Because when you rub them the wrong way, they start getting really pissed off. And then they call them their Sicilian friend, and you got real tourists. 1256 at 560 WQAM.
WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
It's not just the 1 to 2 hour. It's a phenomenon!
Wow, it's really hot out. This sucks.
Did someone say it's really hot out and this sucks?
Yeah.
Well, I've got just the thing for you.
Oh, gross.
It's the all-new Blow brand air conditioner.
Oh, man, what did you eat?
There's nothing like a sweet, cool breeze on a hot, blustery day, right?
Yeah. Could you stop doing that, please?
Well, Blow brand is the best.
Fine, back off.
Can you imagine just one more day of this hot stuff?
No.
Then pick up the phone and call Blow brand air conditioning today.
Oh, yuck. Here, he's a breath mint. Go away.
Blow brand air conditioning. Loud and annoying, but works great.
And it blows. 1 o'clock at 560 WQM. We got Jim Mandich from Shula Steak 2 at 2 o'clock. We got Donnie B talking baseball. It says here 6 to 7. I still can't figure that out because maybe there's no pregame show tonight. Could that possibly be it? And then the Marlins and the Diamondbacks again, 7 o'clock tonight. As the Marlins, after that great comeback last night, they tie it up with 4 runs and they lose anyway. Anybody care?
No.
Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hey, hi Neil, how are you?
Great.
Hey, I'm a Julio and I have something to contribute.
All right.
But I have an American Airlines spy report.
Okay.
I understand from a source on the inside that they employ a lot of ex-NFL football players.
Yeah.
They also employ a lot of flamers.
Uh-huh. So here's another guy that's got nothing to say, is that it? Is that what you are, sir? Another Julio with nothing to say?
No, they also...
And you're also an asshole. It's just amazing to me. It's like an ethnic thing. I never realized this before. It's like an ethnic trait. What is it?
I'm going to cry.
Oh, no, seriously, it really is. He's a Julio that's got something to say, and right away, here come the digs. Here's the attempt to be a comedian. Here's the attempt to do the little homophobic stuff. It's pathetic. I mean, it must be a self-hating thing. I understand, that you're a little bit confused because you were raised with that real strict Catholic upbringing and that macho thing, and you're very uptight about your tremendous yearnings for other men. I understand that. But don't take it out on me, unless you want to, of course. I don't care. I'm used to it. I mean, I'm embarrassed for you people. It's just amazing to me. George is embarrassed. Well, that's because you're a professional Cuban. If you get over that, what difference would it make?
Well, you're a professional Jew.
No, I'm not. The old Jews called here. Do I take that personal that there's such a bunch of assholes, so many of them out there? Doesn't bother me. I take great delight in calling a spade a spade. I'm sorry.
changing my name to Priapus Maximus.
Jones. Here's a mobile in the Gables. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, buddy?
Okay.
I wanted to comment on people calling. You even said it yourself that this country isn't. I mean, this country isn't perfect, but I've traveled. What other country would you consider better than America?
Most of the countries in Western Europe.
Such as?
Netherlands, Denmark,
The
Sweden.
Netherlands is great to visit, but to live?
Have you lived there?
I've been there, but I would never want to.
Have you lived there?
What's considered living there? I've been there for 2 weeks. Is that considered living there? I've been there. I haven't.
No, that's not considered living there. Being somewhere 2 weeks doesn't mean you live there.
I could tell.
Have you been to Denmark? You could tell what?
I could tell I would never. That's not a place to live. It's dirty. It's a great place to visit. There's a lot of freedoms, but it's dirty. A lot of drugs. And
A lot of drugs where?
You ever go to Amsterdam?
Yeah, all 5 times a year.
You tell me you would like to live there?
I'd love to. I'm going to live there.
You're going to live in Amsterdam?
Yes, sir.
Well, I hope they don't tax the hell out of you there.
Meaning what?
The taxes in Western Europe are absurd.
And?
You would want to live in a place
is that, in other words, I don't pay absurd taxes here now?
you pay high taxes here, but not absurd.
Well, what's absurd?
At least you-
What's the tax rate in the Netherlands?
60%.
How do you know that?
Because I know this.
60% on what? How much do you have to make to pay 60%?
How much you have to when they tax you 60%?
Yeah.
I don't know the exact figure, but
Oh,
you
so in other words, you really don't know what you're talking about. How about Denmark? Have you ever been there?
I have been to Denmark.
And?
I would never want to live there.
Uh-huh.
What other countries?
But you know something, sir? It's a free world, okay? And if you think this is
why
great,
don't you get out of America? Get the hell out of here.
I will.
Leave.
And you want to know why? Because assholes like you. That's why.
Screw you, Neil.
Yeah, screw you. Screw you. See, here's a guy, and again, it's typical of these people. You can't have a difference of opinion. You can't have a discussion. Oh, if you don't agree with him, screw you. Get out of here then, huh? You're a moron, man. You're an imbecile. Oh, it's filthy there, and there's lots of drugs. Thank God here in South Florida we don't have lots of drugs. Thank God for that. Except over there at American Airlines this morning. 5670560. Screw you, Neil. Yeah, screw you. I don't like your attitude, man. Screw you. That's the American effing way. You have a different opinion? Screw you. That's where this guy went to school, I think. Screw you. And they sure did a good job, too, by the way. Here's Miami. Hello.
Yeah, you think that 98 degrees is raw. What about that juvenile?
567, another mouth breather. Boy, I tell you, picked up right where we left off yesterday. We did about 3 hours today of a show, and now we're regressing. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Here's Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir?
Hey, I saw something in the paper today. I don't know if you saw it. It's about this Jewish kid, Samuel Scheinbein.
Yeah.
He brutally murdered some
Yes,
Latin
sir, and
kid
they
in
put him
Maryland.
in jail for about 5 minutes in Israel, yes.
Yeah. He's going to be, on weekend furloughs in a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
This makes me sick because, it puts the Jews in sort of more of a bad light than I think they already are.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, just people that I know tend to have the impression that they're arrogant. A lot of them are obnoxious and whatever. But what I'm trying to say is if it had been the other way around and this Latin kid had killed little Jewy Jew boy and then fled to Argentina.
Little Jewy Jew boy?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Little Jewy Jew boy. 567-0560, pound 560 on it. I'm going to tell you, man, here's this other asshole I called 2 calls ago. Just keep listening to these people, and then you'll understand what a great country this is, okay? And about the great education system we got. Here's Dania. Hello.
No, God, I'm a recovering Catholic. I see my prostitute about twice a week. She thinks I need more therapy, but I can't afford it. My HMO won't cover it. I'd love to go to Amsterdam, and I could probably recover there. What do you think?
Let's go to Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hi, God.
Yes, sir.
I heard you yesterday when you closed. You said exactly the right thing about this lovely place down here.
Uh-huh.
And I believe everybody...
And today is ongoing proof of it, too. This is proof
Sure.
of it.
And everybody that comes into our country, I believe they're all a bunch of undesirables that need a good kick in the head. So there? I hope you're not there.
I hope you're not there.
Oh, Neil.
567-0560. I knew he was still there. Pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Oh, man, I'm going to tell you. American must have done a really good job of distributing that stuff. Yeah, get the spoon out. Get the big spoon out. He's got yeah. Here's Boca. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Just so you know, all your fans aren't a bunch of football freaks. There's some of us out here that like the Pet Shop Boys. And have you heard anything from the Pet Shop Boys? Have you got anything coming out lately? Or
I haven't got any ideas.
No idea?
No.
Okay, Neil. Like your show, Neil.
Okay.
Take it easy.
Whatever that means. Whatever that says. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a lady in Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how are you?
I'm okay.
I hope you have a nice vacation.
Uh-huh.
Does that mean that George will be on?
Yes, ma'am.
Ay, que mierda!
Another one of yours. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. I'm telling you, you wonder why people get pissed off, why people who have fled from this town? Just listen these last couple of days. Listen to the last several years, not just the last couple of days. But especially now that I'm extending the hand of friendship. I'm extending an open invitation to any Julios out there that have an IQ larger than their thumbnail, that actually have something to say about anything. And yet, so far, have we had one? I don't think. No. Look in the mirror, honey. Merit is what you'll see, sweetheart. On 2 legs.
Floridians, dumb as dirt.
If you can't get enough of the likes of Dr. Laura, how about this?
Oh, Dr. Radio.
That's right. It's nothing but those syndicated self-help talk shows to help you agonize 24 hours a day.
Honey, please turn it off. It's that stupid.
Oh, Dr. Radio.
We knew you'd be excited.
Debuting tonight is Dr. Joy Brown, following Dr. Laura, then Dr. Judy,
Dr. Will,
Dr. Sue, Dr. Cat, Dr. Ida, Dr. Doolittle, and Dr. Dre, Dr. Hook, and Dr. T, and wrap it up with foot advice from Dr. Show.
Right here on...
Jeez, will you shut off that stupid?
Oh, Dr. Radio.
Hey, if you think you're already sick of stations who play nothing but music, well, you don't know sick, because we're going to put you over the edge tonight on...
Oh, Dr. Radio.
113 to 560 WQMI sentiments exactly. You know, the dumbest call I've had all month, and the last couple of days, that's covering a lot of territory, was the young guy that called a couple of calls back with his song and a dance about Amsterdam and the Netherlands. Screw you, Neil. You're so dumb that I'm embarrassed for you. You know? Oh, it's dirty. No, it's not dirty. The fact is that anywhere in Europe, I hate to break the news to you, but those cities are older. They have a history. They've been there a long time. Most of the buildings haven't been built like in the last 100 years or 50 years or 20 years. And they don't have like a lot of glitzy strip shopping centers with a lot of neon signs for you. Nothing dirty about Western Europe. It's the culture is like there's something there, as opposed to just hamburger joints. Although we're doing a real good job of infiltrating there with McDonald's and Burger King. That's the great American contribution to Western European civilization. You're a moron, pal. You're an idiot. Just oh, screw you, man. Screw you. Hey, listen, whatever you like, more power to you. Guess what? The rest of the world doesn't necessarily have to see the world through your eyes, asshole. And thank God some of us don't. Here's a mobile in Coral Springs. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever lived in a different country?
No.
How can you compare?
How can I compare what?
United States to living in different countries in the world.
I can compare the conditions in other countries. I go to Europe 5 times a year.
I just came back from Europe.
And?
Terrible.
Where was that?
Terrible.
Where were you?
Well, I've been in Spain.
I hated Spain. I've been in Madrid.
I couldn't walk on the street.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody.
Where else have you been? Where else have you been in Europe?
Name it. London, Italy.
Italy?
Same thing. Italy. I was afraid to walk on the street.
Where was that? What city?
Rome.
You were afraid to walk on the streets in Rome?
Yes.
Sir, I've been in Rome 60 times.
They were robbing the people there.
You're talking about the pickpockets?
Pickpockets.
Let me ask you, sir, where is it safer to walk the streets at night, in Miami or in Rome?
I tell you the truth, I feel safer in Miami.
You walk the streets in Miami at night?
Well, I don't. But
how many people? How long were you in Rome, sir?
I've been 3 times in Rome.
How long?
Last time I've been.
Oh, if it was so bad, how come you went 3 times?
3 days.
If it was so bad,
you
how
know
come?
Something? I took a cruise. That was on a cruise. I didn't even want to
go there. It was so bad.
I
Yeah.
didn't. A
Well,
lot
let me
of
ask you,
people
if you've
got
been there
robbed.
3 times. How many people got murdered when you were there 3 times?
Not that I know of.
How many people were shooting guns off in the streets when you were there?
Well, in 3 days, I didn't really listen to the news, and it's not enough time. But I lived in a different country. Let me tell you.
In what country was that?
Israel.
But who the hell wants to live there?
Well, I lived there. I have no choice. My parents got me there.
Yeah. Well, I don't want.
I lived there 31 years.
Not only don't I want to live in Israel, I don't want to visit Israel. If I want to see a lot of Jews, I can go to Sunrise. I don't need to go to Israel.
Well, that's okay, but we're talking overall the world.
No, we're talking about civilized countries. We're talking about Holland. We're talking about Scandinavia. We're talking about Germany. We're talking about a lot of other places. We're not talking about Israel.
Well, we're not. You asked me
your view of Italy.
I'm talking about Europe.
Your views of Italy, first of all, you didn't even want to get off the boat, and you're talking about a few gypsies picking people's pockets. If that's your idea of being a dangerous place to live, then again, we have a difference of opinion.
Not only that, go to Naples.
I don't want to go to Naples, sir. There are nothing but schleppers in Naples. What the hell do I want to go to Naples for?
You're afraid to sit in a car with your windows open.
Yeah.
So?
How about driving into Overtown about 9 o'clock tonight? Do you want to sit in Overtown with your windows down?
Well.
Sir?
My opinion is...
Yeah, no, why don't you answer my question?
No, I don't. I won't. I did answer your question.
Yeah.
But I've been almost all over the world.
Yeah.
I lived in a different country.
You lived in Israel.
This is the best country.
You lived in Israel.
Right. For
And
31 years.
you're comparing a country where you're surrounded by your mortal enemies, constantly at war, and you're comparing that with anything else?
I'm not talking about that. I've been involved in wars. I've been involved in other things. I'm
Yeah.
not talking about the war.
Sir, if
I'm talking about
if
life.
that's your opinion, you're entitled to it, but you're not going to convince me, okay, sir?
Okay.
And have a great day.
Thank you.
Sei gesund. Psychotic about it. He went to Rome and they were robbing the people. I've only been in Rome 60 times. You walk the streets morning, noon, and night. Everybody's friendly. There's a few gypsies. And if you can't tell the gypsies after the first 20 times you've been there, you're pretty goddamn stupid because they all wear the same outfit. They're all carrying the babies in their arms. It's practically like they're holding up a sign that's saying, we're pickpockets. Any takers out there? Anybody want to come near us? That's the worst thing you got to worry about in Rome, in Milan, in Florence. I never saw any goddamn gypsies in Florence. And this guy's hocking me a Chinik about it. It was so dangerous and so bad there that he didn't want to get off the boat. Oh man, this is special. This is great. Here's a mobile in Pompano. Hello.
Neil, guys.
Yes, sir.
I haven't called you in over a year. I'm a reformed addict.
Yes.
Anyway, all these years you've been talking about, this place sucks, this place stinks, everything else. And I always just took it with a grain of salt. But let me tell you something. You were so right. You were so right to the point where I am packing up the U-Haul on Friday. I'm getting the hell out of here, finally. This place is just a list as long as my arm.
Yeah.
With the stuff. I figured all the asshole New Yorkers are down here. I might as well go back up there.
Might as well.
Might as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks for all the entertainment, and I appreciate it, and I look for you on the web.
Okay, good luck, pal.
Okay, bye.
Okay, there he goes. Thank God he's not moving to Israel. You know what I'm saying?
Oi!
567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Miami. Hello.
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I have a quick question about Mayor P. Nellis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this guy is trying to find funds now, or where to get his money from for his penny that got shot down. Why doesn't he use the money that he's investing into the arena, the John Henry Stadium, and
There isn't any money in any John Henry stand. There is no John Henry.
No, well, that's what they're planning on doing, though, using the tourist tax for it.
Yeah.
Tourists are more likely to use the bus and transportation. They have better chance of using that than going to a game.
Mm-hmm. You have to ask him, sir. I can't tell you. I can't answer.
I figured maybe you put a little 2 cents worth in there. A little
I
more.
already put my 2 cents worth in.
A little more.
I put about $2 million in the of effort on the penny sales tax, making sure it didn't get passed.
Good to go. Well, thank you.
Okay, and have a great day. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. I can't be Mayor Pinga spokesman. I'm sorry. Ask him. Here's Davey. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Okay, sir.
I was just wondering, Neil, why America has the problem with people trying to get into this country, and these countries that you're talking about don't have the same problem.
They don't?
No.
How about England?
And you prove it because you still live here.
How about England? They don't have an immigration problem?
Of Americans?
No. No.
Americans are not trying to get out of this country.
They're not moving to other countries?
Why
There are plenty
not?
of Americans that move to other countries.
People don't believe that. I mean,
People don't believe it. It's a fact. It's not a question of whether
It's not
you believe
a
it, you believe
fact
in
that
God.
you can't
It's
prove
a fact.
You can't prove. How prove it? How do you know that?
Prove it.
How
I'm
do you
going to
know
prove
that?
it to you, sir. You're a moron. You're an imbecile. How do I know it? Okay, there is nobody from America who ever moves to another country, okay? Are you happy now, sir?
Uh-huh.
Okay, thank you. No, you see, the people that are clamoring to move into this country are from banana boat countries. They're schleppers. There are people living under tremendous oppression, living in rampant poverty and squalor. Those are the people knocking down the doors to come into America. We don't have long lines of people waiting to come into America from Italy, from Germany, from the Netherlands, from Switzerland, from England, from those countries. No, we do not, sir. From France, thank God. See, this is the thing with most Americans, is most of them haven't been anywhere anyhow. Like I told you before, their idea of a vacation is a week in Stewart, a weekend in Sonesta Key. That's their idea of a big escapade. And some of these people who have been somewhere, boy, I tell you, you must really know they had all the high spots. Guy that was in Rome didn't want to get off the goddamn banana boat. He was so terrified because it was so dangerous. That could be one of the most stupid things I ever heard in my life. He'd rather walk the streets in Miami at night than the streets in Rome. All I can say to that is, sir.
Yeah.
Here's Biscayne Park. Hello.
Hey, Neil, you are the man.
Yeah, I'm the man.
And I am picking up in 1 week and fleeing this country in South Florida and going up north.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to get out of here. And I just wanted to call and say thanks for all the afternoons of entertainment and call the people of Real Radio in Orlando douchebags.
Okay, sir. Good luck.
Thanks a lot.
567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. We're the best, baby. We're the best. We're number one, goddammit. Wave that flag, okay? A lot of cliches. Education system blows. Life expectancy rate way down there on the list. Quality of medical care. Do we have national health care?
No.
No. Even our friends to the north are light years ahead of us on that. And I talked to the people up there about that. They're embarrassed for us. But, you know, when you're sufficiently brainwashed, it's great. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
My sister out in the West Coast has the all-time phrase that just typifies what goes on. Every time I say there's something wrong here, she said, well, that's the way it is. And that's typical of down here.
That's what Walter Cronkite said.
Is that what he says?
That's the way it is.
That's the way it is.
Yeah.
And that's the last. That was her last words that I spoke to her. When she called, she said, well, that's the way it is, and I hung up.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
well, I guess I will too then. Okay, 567-0560. Pound 560 on it. Well, that's, I guess, what you're supposed to do after he says that. It's like a cue. That's the way it is. You know, and then there you go. Boy, that dial tone sure comes on slow on that bat line. Man, slow as molasses. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Neil, how you doing, buddy?
Pretty good.
Good. Listen, I wanted to correct that young lady that called a little while ago about George.
Yeah, okay, great. Let's go to a mobile in Plantation. Hello.
Hi, Neil?
Yes, sir.
Oh, we're on. You're talking about other countries and so on. I've traveled a bit on business, and I've been in most countries in Europe, but never for an extended stay, so I can't compare.
Mm-hmm.
Can't relate. But, well, I sure appreciate coming home to some of the conveniences we have that you don't have over there.
Like
then
what?
Again, you talk,
like what?
oh, well, I don't know, like shopping after 5 o'clock in the afternoon in Germany. Have you ever tried to buy anything after 5 p.m. in Germany?
Sure. Depends on what day of the week it is. All of Europe is expanding their shopping hours now that they got the the Euro thing going. They're all expanding their hours.
They are.
Yeah.
Now they are. But okay, I'm thinking of 3-4 years ago.
But I mean, really, is that what the quality of life is all about? Shopping after 5 o'clock?
Well, I guess that's a measurement. But I mean, it was. I just appreciate in Germany when I'd go over for 2 weeks a year every year for a trade show.
To what city?
Hanover for the CeBIT show.
Well, I don't know anything about Hanover.
Well, you're staying. The streets in Hanover, for instance, I mean, those streets are 100 and some years old, most of them, and they got cars parked on sidewalks 3 deep. You know, there's the conveniences, I guess, get to me, and I've been in Budapest and other places. So you have a lot of the old world, and it's not that easy a fit with modern day. But it's certainly beautiful.
How about Berlin? Have you been in Berlin?
Yes, I have.
Berlin's as modern as any city in America.
Absolutely.
With all rebuilt after the war, obviously.
Yeah, Berlin has some huge streets. You ever go down that main drag in Berlin?
Kudamm.
Yeah, I mean, and that's where I ran into my favorite beer in the world, Budvar.
Yeah.
Did you run into that over there?
No, I didn't run into it, but I drive carefully. Okay, have a great day, sir. Whatever you said. You know what he said? No. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T line, 127 at QMP.
Right.
God.
You eat burritos and don't care. Got skid marks underwear. Ooh, it makes you wanna cry. Don't know from where it came. stomach cramps drive you insane. Ooh, it makes you wanna die. Ooh, should have bought some Tums. 'Cause now you've got to run. Diarrhea, it ain't fun to have ya. Standing in a restroom line, eating tacos, salsa and nachos. Too many spicy foods at once.
132 at 560 WQM. You know, I'm listening to all of this, and I think I may have to reassess my vacation plans. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so that's the key. Sounds good. Any place in the U.S. of A., you know, except, of course, Hawaii. That's too far in the middle of nowhere. In Alaska. Any place in the Great 48. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. A lot of good strip shopping centers, a lot of neon signs, glitzy, modern, you know, shop whenever it has shop till you drop. Here's Boca. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I got a couple questions for you, Neil. You ready?
I'm listening.
Okay. When you were a fat little Jew...
Okay, let's go to Mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello. Mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Okay, they can't do it either. Okay, we were smoking along here till about 1 o'clock, and then all of a sudden they just started crumbling at the seams, started regressing, the whole crowd. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Dania. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Okay, sir.
I got 2 words for Americans after traveling out of this country. Americans are ignorant and arrogant.
Right. Very good. Well said.
I'm surprised that some of these people don't have to take a saliva test before they dial.
I mean, why does it have to be either or? I mean, there's certain things, obviously, you do like the convenience and a lot of things in this country, and then there are things that you enjoy about other places. Why does it have to be us against them, this kind of xenophobic, idiotic, narrow-minded mentality? Like that kid that was so psychotic. Screw you, because, I happen to like it in the Netherlands or a lot of other places in Western Europe. Does that make me a bad person because I don't agree with his goddamn narrow view of the world, I guess? Makes me evil, I guess.
It is a narrow view of the world. The kids that come over here without speaking English, and 20 years later they're valedictorians of their high school class. And these white people have been here for 5 generations and haven't gotten past high school.
Yeah.
And they wonder why.
Mm-hmm.
They think it's something genetic. It's not. It's simply that people around the rest of the world make more from less than we do. We waste everything. We're spoiled, rotten. People get to buy everything 24 hours a day at discount prices. That's what America is. People just want to buy. I'm sure the conveniences that other guy missed is like football on Sunday afternoons, cable TV. Wow.
I hate to break the news to them. They got all the cable TV you want all over the world. It's not, and they got all the sports you want. They got satellite dishes. It may come as a great shock to them, but they have satellite dishes. They even got milchik and fleischik dishes, too, for the guy from Israel. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Oh, we're ignorant and we like it. Ignorance is bliss. Stop, telling us those things. We don't like it. So we're going to attack you, you fat little fag, you. Okay, great. You ought to see the size of the check they put in my pocket this morning, okay? You know what I'm saying?
Only $50.
Couldn't faze me less. But we're going to... See, and this is another thing. And you just listen to this show. The anger, the hate, the intolerance, the psychosis. Oh, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get even. I'm going to attack you. The hostility, especially here in South Florida. The unfriendliest place in the world, where everybody hates everybody else. And so you open up the phone line. It's just a festering. It's a festival of hate. It doesn't faze me. It ain't never going to faze me. Just take that check right to the bank. Thank you. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Love this show. First-time caller. Just wanted to make a comment about that individual that called earlier. What a real moron.
Wait, which one?
Well, the one about the Johnny kid. What a closed-minded individual. A real loser. And these people, they need to open up their minds and deal with the reality of it. You can't be so negative like that.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, some of the comments, I just wanted to throw in my 2 cents on that because that was a pretty dumb comment. And if you can do it for us, put that country tune on sometime during your show.
Put the country tune on?
Yeah, your little country,
Okay, sure, whatever you say. Here's Palm Springs North. Hello.
Neil God.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I've been brainwashed by you, I think. I've been listening for about 9 years, and I agree with almost, I mean, I don't like to say I agree with everything anybody
Go ahead,
says.
pal. You're the only one
But
today.
I don't understand where these morons are coming from. How can people slam the things you say? Because everything you say makes sense.
No, and listen, I don't expect people to agree with anything I say, but the idea that because I say something that's different, I mean, is it worth having a major argument and getting psychotic? Screw you, because they don't agree about which country they want to live in.
Well,
I'll
like
live wherever the hell I want to live. How do you like that?
Right. Everybody has an opinion, just, so everybody can say whatever they want. The reason I called was...
in addition to which, if you retain your U.S. citizenship and your money is all over here anyway, except what you're living on, you don't pay taxes to a foreign country. You pay taxes to this government. So what difference does it make? This guy's giving me a song and a dance about 60% taxes and this and that, and it's so dirty and,
Well,
Jesus.
what can you say about a guy like that?
Moron, an imbecile.
He's an asshole.
In addition to which, if it was so bad there, how come he was there for 2 weeks? He was there for 2 weeks, but it was so bad it was just awful.
Hey, one thing I wanted to mention. You know that bit you got that says, "Oh man, I was listening to I was watching TV and Bo Griffin's psychic hotline came on."
Yeah.
And this guy was asking questions about his girlfriend, and the psychic said, "Well, oh man," the psychic said, "Your girlfriend, she just went on a vacation, right?" And he goes, "Yeah, she went on a business trip." And they said, "No, it wasn't a business trip. She was going on a romantic getaway." And I swear the guy says, "Oh, man."
1 million times for Neil Rogers. He's in his house.
Exactly.
Every time I hear that, I die. I pee on the
pal.
floor. Hey, and I know you're not into anal, but I am. And
Okay, great. Okay, 22 before 2 at 5. I'm telling you, they're all crazy. They're all certifiable. Make no mistake about it. Even when you think you got somebody that's like, maybe close to rational, like 20%. Yeah, sooner or later, when in doubt, they blurt it out.
America loves to watch boobs and butts and boinking. In stores now, from the makers of Nicoderm, the creators of Wonder Bra and Fruit of the Loom underwear. It's a revolutionary new underwear for men that lifts, separates, pushes up, out, enlarges the bulge, minimizes friction and corrosion, and helps you quit smoking. It's Wonderwear for men. It makes me look more masculine, and I'm down to only 2 packs a day. Hey, the chicks are back.
I love mine so much, I haven't taken it off for a whole week. I wear 2 pair at the same time, and my boyfriend Bruce, he just goes absolutely nuts. He's just totally bonkers.
I was a heavy smoker, so now I just wear 3 pairs of underwear, and I was able to quit cold turkey. Oh, and my girlfriend's convinced I'm hung like a T-Rex.
The all-new Wonderwear from Nicoderm, Wonder Bra, and Fruit of the Loom. And coming soon, the Viagra Derm Jock Strap.
143 and 560 WQM. The one comforting thing to all of this is if you think these calls the last 2 days are really bad, and they were, the calls on the sports shows are 1,000 times worse. 50,000 times worse. Trust me when I tell you. And I'm sure you'll take my word for it. Here's a mobile in Sunrise. Hello.
Hi, Neil. I'm not going to get myself upset over these people calling and being ridiculous and psychotic, but just a couple points. I've lived in South Florida for 28 years and probably never move anywhere else. I'm used to it probably, but there's only 2 reasons why I even stay down here, and that's you and the humper. And that's about it. I like to call the small dog the little dog.
Okay, let's go to a mobile in Hallandale. Hello. Mobile in Hallandale. Long gone. Okay, plodding right along. Here's Kendall. Hello.
Hi.
Yes, sir.
You.
Get near the phone. Somewhere within 50 yards would be good.
I just want to clarify something. I am very happy that you love Europe. All right?
And
my point was, when I called you before...
No, you call me, sir, once a king, always a king. Once a knight's enough. This is the guy that was on before that was rambling on for like 50 hours already, okay? Get your own show, pal. Man, just unbelievable. I'm telling you, there's something in the water. Castro's got that woodpecker going. Believe me, you can hear it. Listen. That's it. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT. We got 28 million Julios in this town, and I get nothing but a bunch of jackballs, and then this guy wants to call me back after he made a 17-minute speech before that was coma-inducing, and go on again. He wants to elucidate and clarify. Adios, pal. Arrivederci. And one of the great things about the Netherlands is that no matter how many times you go there, you don't hear anybody speaking Espanol. Oh, hallelujah. That alone, if nothing else good was going on there, that all by itself. Never heard anybody speaking Espanol in Denmark. Oh, hallelujah. Oh, a happy day. Here's North Miami. Hello. North Miami.
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
In response to a caller who called up a few, I guess 2 or 3 back, and he said that Americans are the most rudest people. I just want him to come over to Aventura and take a look at this town. This is probably the most rudest, obnoxious foreigners. And this town is probably 80 or 90% foreigners, and they're all
well, move. That would be a good suggestion. Here's a mobile in Davie. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hi. With regards to that column, the Linda Robertson this morning, I agree. I think she just made herself look very stupid in not even understanding, like you said, just the simple legal system. But wasn't she the one that wrote the column on Bandage a few years ago, where she criticized him for his Neanderthal attitudes and his accent or something like that?
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, I think she was the one that did, I guess.
Probably. She's a dumb bitch.
Yeah, it was totally stupid. It was a ridiculous column then, and she comes out with these every once in a while. I don't understand why she's even on the sports page.
Because she works for the Herald.
Right, and I guess that says it all.
Same reason that Barry Jackass writes in their sports section. They don't have real professional columnists over there, generally speaking. Mostly, I mean, they may have 1 or 2 people on the payroll like Eddie the Pope and a few old farts like that. But generally, they got a bunch of stringers. They have a bunch of kids and stringers who get paid by the piece, kind of like a prostitute.
And they really think that they compare with papers like the Washington Post.
Of course not. No, nobody in their right mind really believes that. Those days are long gone, man.
Yeah, well, that's what choice do we have?
Just like Knight Ridder, long gone.
Absolutely.
And have a great day.
Have a good day.
Here's Pompano Beach. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing today?
Okay.
I was listening a while ago when you were talking about the ratings and so forth, and it seems like every station that you went
Talking
to...
about what ratings? When was I talking about ratings? I wasn't
The
talking
book.
about
You
ratings.
was talking about the book, and you said they put you on the sports show, they put you on the all sports talk show and all.
I was talking about Barry Jackson, about how the fact that he never wrote anything about it, yes?
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. In any event, I've listened to you for years, and you seem to go to the top at every station you're at, but yet you're always at the station. How come you don't get a place like Shula's Steak 2 to broadcast from as opposed to just a station?
I don't want to broadcast from outside. It makes it impossible. I got all my equipment in here. All the doing the shows on the outside creates 1,000 headaches. Why do I want that?
Oh, I don't know. I just thought, people would like to see you. We enjoy your show, but we just hear you out in the
I have
studio.
a face for radio, man. That's the way it works.
Oh, okay.
Thanks so much.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Here's a mobile in Hollywood. Hello.
Hello, Neil. This
This is a guy with a bad phony voice. Sounded like R.J. Intandola doing a voice. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Weston. Hello.
Neil, I'm a Julio from Weston. I love your show.
Yeah.
I sell for a living, and you make my drive much more pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
I'm calling because the last couple of days I've heard you comment on all these good pizza places and all. And one name I haven't heard is over in Key Biscayne, there's a little pizza place called Sir Pizza.
Yeah.
And I've heard you talk about Godfather and all these other things, and that hasn't been mentioned. I mean, they got one of the best pizzas I've ever tasted.
Yeah, but they don't let most of us on Key Biscayne. We're just not in their league,
Oh, yeah, you got to pay $1 to go try it.
Exactly, yeah.
Listen, I love your show, and can I call someone a douchebag?
Go ahead.
Mark Schiffer, and you're a douchebag.
Okay, pal. There you go. You got through the whole call without any... I mean, it wasn't great, but at least it was something. Yeah. George is doing Hail Marys and crossing himself. We finally got one. There you go. That's a start. And that old guy, by the way, that called back a second time, I think he's still talking, I believe. Uh-huh. I should have just put him on hold. We could have gone back every few minutes. Man, oh, man. Just relax, okay, pal? Life goes on. Everything will be okay.
Come on, you'd like Israel.
Yeah, right. No, this wasn't the Israel guy.
Was it?
It was?
Sure.
No, this was not the Israel guy. This was the other guy. This wasn't the Israel guy.
Were the two old guys talking to you about that?
No, this was a Julio. The Israel guy wasn't a Julio.
No, the Israel guy was an Israeli.
Right. This guy wasn't an Israeli. My God, listen to the tape back later, not now, please. Trust me when I tell you, it was one of somebody's people. Nobody wants to take credit. Here's Hialeah. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Neil?
Okay.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Yes.
My brother turned me on to you. You have a piece called Spazzle of Azzle. Do you still have that?
Yes, I do.
And can I request it?
It's coming up in just a matter of moments, as a matter of fact.
Okay, thank you very much.
Just because I'm such a great guy.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Bye.
See ya. How do you like that? They love me in Hialeah, baby. Oh! You miserable spicks out there. That's 2 in a row. Yeah, we'll get the good spicks. We got to separate. It's like separating the wheat from the chaff, the milk from the cream, however the hell that thing goes.
Kurds from the way.
The Kurd from the way, okay, and get out of our way, okay, because we're plowing right on through whether you like it or not. Make way. People for the American way. 567-0560, pound 560 on. Have you noticed, by the way, that Regis has become a parody of himself? They had that new quiz show on, which I watched about 30 seconds of it last night, only because I read that they screwed it up last week and they said he gave the wrong answer, he gave the right answer. But at any rate, Regis, I love you, Regis, but you're becoming a parody of yourself, you know? And he talks like